welcome back to another episode of Real Talk True Stories podcast, an edutainment podcast for the whole scope of the industry. Today we've got a special guest, someone that I think I caught wind of you through the podcast scene maybe back in lockdown.
Yeah.
I'd like to say lockdown.
Yeah.
Saw you doing your thing, I respected it. So I guess to introduce you, we've got Faith Fontaine. That's the right pronunciation, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, got it right. I had to make sure.
It is.
What would you consider yourself? Because I've got you down. I'll tell you what I've got you down as, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Go on,
Yeah,
I'm intrigued.
exactly. Because I feel like you got like multiple hustles. First off, but I've put you down as like podcaster because I saw that you had a podcast.
Yes.
I've got you down as like a bit of an influencer as well with the restaurant blogging and taste making with the hotel selection and spa trips and that as well. I got you down as a bit of an influencer.
Okay.
But in your bio, I think you said a panelist.
Yeah.
So what's
I
that
said
about?
So Talk That Talk, the podcast show. It's a panel of us and we like obviously debate various things.
Okay.
So that's why I say panelist
Rather than podcaster per se, and
yeah, because it's
more of a
not
talk
really,
show.
Yeah, exactly. It's a talk show as opposed to a podcast, and we're not actually on any podcasting platforms. We're just on YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not really a podcast like that. It's a show, and
Isn't it the same thing these days though?
It
Isn't
can
it kind
be.
of hard to?
Do you know what? It can be, and I think like I remember our producer used to get a bit like, no, it's not a podcast, it's a show, it's a show, it's a show.
The creatives.
But I feel like the word podcast has been kind of like used for. It's just used for anything where people are making independent talk-based content. So
do you know why you're right? Because I'll tell you a funny story.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you as well, but it's stuck out to me because a lot of people don't get this, and I do say it a lot on episodes. I started this podcast at the end of 2015. Believe it or not, a long time ago.
I remember you actually, because I said to you, why are you not doing
you're one of the that's what I'm going to get into. You're actually one of the reasons why I've done it again.
You're actually really good at talking.
Thank you so much, man. That's why you're one of the reasons that you know what I mean, I went for it.
I am.
But what happened is I had a podcast, right? We done a draft episode in December 2015. Then we actually like thought, you know what, we're not good at this yet. We've got to get this right. And we went and remade the logos a couple of times and sat on it for a bit. Savage Dan moved studio at the time. And then it was like, we'll wait for him to do, because he was moving around because of a building lease that ended.
Right.
And then we ended up doing the first official episode in 2016.
Okay.
With SAS, Stamina Boy from East, some grime MCs and stuff. But what happened is every time I'll go get a guest, they'd be like, what's a podcast? So this is why. This is
in the time you were away.
People would say like, "What is it, bro? Like, is it an interview? Is it what is it? Like, are you interviewing me?" And I say, "Look, what it is a conversation about what you're into, your career, current topics, whatever. Rare. Oh, like a radio show? Nah, because it's not on a radio.
It used to be like radio show.
Then they're like, oh, like a talk show." A little, maybe more like talk radio than a talk show. But then they'll be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna hit you when my mixtape's coming up. And I'll be like, no, that's not what we're doing, bro. We're not talking about your new mixtape. You know what I'm trying to say? And then that's one of the issues that I had. And then the other issue was, if the guests don't turn up, I'd all booked like a camera crew to come separately. So I got paid for the studio time and the camera crew, but there's no episode.
Right, that's
Do you get
sucks, yeah.
Then the other way would be, because it's all in-house now, so we've got control over it. So even if something don't go on, it's cool. We no problem. The camera's there, whatever. Next time. But at this point, I remember there was times where the guests have turned up, and the camera crew ain't.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
like
very unprofessional.
Yeah, but this is the industry we're in. Sometimes people like to put like the scene's advanced and gone further and better and that, but there is still people that are still from the ends, that they're camera crew, but they're from the ends. And you know how people go, even in a 9 to 5, people call in sick.
Yes, yeah.
On a day when they should be here, and they're not really sick, and they got all the excuses in the world. My car tire.
Yeah, there are.
And they'll send you a picture of it as well. Yeah. And that's when you know it's not true, when they send you a picture.
It's like you're explaining too much.
Way too much. Like, you're sick. Just tell me you're sick, bro, and that's enough.
Exactly.
So what I did is I kind of lost a bit of drive and momentum, because I was like, you know what, this is long, man.
It's not an easy hustle at all.
It's not, man.
People just think like it's just a case of getting a mic and that's it, and a camera and everything else. But it's actually a proper hustle. It's a grind, and
when it's guest based, isn't it, as well?
Especially when it's guest based. I have the show To the Forefront, and that is solely dependent on guests.
Okay.
And we had an episode that we shot where like pretty much all our guests just couldn't make it for innocent reasons, but we're like, oh god, like we have booked, we obviously paid for. I say we, it's not. Luckily, I didn't fund it, but the producer had paid for the studio, where we film. We have already got the film people, the camera crew. Obviously, I'm ready, he's ready, but we have no one to actually sit down on the couch. So that was a bit stressful trying to find people, and I think we learned a lot.
Was there two hosts?
It was just, I'm the host.
Just you on your own?
Yeah, just me. I'm the host, and then we have like a few people on the couch.
So if no one's turning up, it's just you and the cameraman, basically.
We'll have to cancel. Yeah.
See, I've been there, man. I've been there. I've had like top tier guests come through to my thing, and like claim that they was outside. And then like you call them back 3 minutes later, and they're like, oh yeah, I was there, but you didn't pick up. I left.
Why do people lie?
It's a lie, of course.
What's that all about? Surely, like...
Some people, it's like they got a time machine, like they can move to one area to another in 3 minutes or something. Yeah. But it happens, isn't it?
Do you know what's funny? Like, say now you are, Lord willing, you become the next Joe Budden, for example. They're the same people.
Not his personality, though. But
okay, obviously not him.
I hear you, though.
You have the same level of, like, the same influence, same platform. People are tuning in and stuff. Like... They're the same people that will come knocking on your door
for an interview, innit?
Yeah, and I just find it so fascinating.
And do you know what? I let them on.
Would you?
Yeah, so that I can give them a awkward convo.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Good television, like you know, like that. Like if I'll say on, like, yo, trust me, like I'm that guy. Like I'll say, yo, look, boom, remember that time, rare, in the middle of the interview. Yeah. What happened there? Did you do? I'll ask them, what did you like? Where did you have a time machine or something, car? You got from here to there in 3 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's good TV, innit?
That will humble them, definitely.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's it, man. I don't mind. Like, I don't mind being confrontational as well, so it's calm.
See, I would probably just be petty and not. I think it's
because I come from like grime scene. The grime scene, pirate radio scene back in the day was aggressive. Like, man send for you straight in front. You gotta grab the mic and go back and forth, whatever. And it turns into sometimes even into altercations outside after. And that.
Does that? See, I've always wondered with battle rap. How do you just go home?
It's different to battling though.
Is it not? Yeah,
battling I couldn't do that. I'll knock someone out, man. Because you're gonna tell me about my mum or something on a mic in front of me, and I can't. Nah. But MC in grime was more of like you're just a grime MC, like Wiley, Kano, they're all grime MCs.
Right, yeah.
But because it's so competitive and there's different crews from different ends and that, you'll go pirate radio, and a man might just be feeling himself today and just send a little sly shot at you because you're next. Like, you know what I mean? Little sly and work.
Just
indirects, and then you're like, raw, what? And you can take it as if like you could let it go normally, but if it's me back in the day, I just grab the mic and it's on now, and it like.
Yeah, that's how you should handle it.
The confrontational side of rap music and grime music makes it a bit more comfortable for me to have that kind of convo. Because there's a lot of interviews that, do you know why I say that as well? There's a lot of interviews that I've watched as a viewer, and I've wondered to myself, why ain't you asked that question, bro? And it's like you pussied out. That's the way I see it a lot of the time, because they just want to be a safe interview.
Yeah, do
you know what I'm trying to say?
Like
that's why people like Lippy and that are quite good for the scene and that, and have done their thing and had their moments and stuff.
I really like Lippy.
Yeah, Lippy's cool. I
like what he does.
He can be literally his name, innit? Lippy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's good for like certain areas of the game. Like when you need a real interview from someone, people like us can pull things from people. Obviously, I think there's a safe middle ground. Some people don't have that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So what about yourself? Early years, going back before.
My early years.
Before we know you're so before like being podcaster, panelist, and that. Like what we normally do with our guests is just find out a little bit, just a small bit, like where you from, where you grew up.
How far back do you want me to start?
What area are you from? I think that's a good start. Or your heritage even as well in the mix.
Well, I'm Nigerian. I am a first generation immigrant because I was actually born in Nigeria.
Oh, swear down.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I moved here with my family, my mum and dad, when I was nearly 3.
Okay, yeah. So really young.
Yeah, very young. And we just moved up north my dad's a doctor, so
nice.
He came here on a Commonwealth visa,
right?
To study here, to continue his studies as a doctor, and he was first posted in a place called Grimsby.
You know, Jesus.
in Lincolnshire.
That's very country, you know, up north.
It's very country. So we always like
Grimsby.
moved
I wasn't
around.
Expecting that. I didn't see that coming.
Well, it gets worse. Next place we moved to after that was Hull.
Is Hull worse than Grimsby?
Actually, Grimsby is probably worse, but it just stays on. I should say it just stays on that sort of level. And then after that, we moved to Blackpool.
Okay,
and
I see.
After that, we moved to where I spent the majority of my life, which is in a place in Nottinghamshire.
Okay.
A town in Nottinghamshire, and I've always just grown up in just.
Is Derby in them kind of areas?
It's not far from Derby, but Derbyshire's the next
Derbyshire is a different county.
County, sorry. Kind of southwestish of Nottinghamshire.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I mean, like I was just. I feel like it's quite a typical immigrant upbringing, whereas like at home my parents are very Nigerian. Obviously we all moved here together. So there was a lot of like culture clashes, because I was getting a Western education obviously now, and it was difficult, and also moving to those types of places where I was like the only black kid in school.
That's mad.
For like all my life I was the only black kid in school, and
that's bad.
Until I have 2 younger brothers, and until my brothers would like join me in school.
So your brothers are younger than you?
They are, yeah.
Okay, cool.
They're quite a bit younger than me. One's 5 years younger than me, the other one's nearly 10 years younger than me.
So even when you're hitting year 11, they're only starting year 7.
Exactly. But you know what, like it wasn't that bad. I feel like in primary school it was a lot worse, because you know what kids are like, kids are just so honest.
Mate, it's not even just honest, it's ruthless sometimes.
Cheeky, absolutely. So I think obviously like I'd get bullied, and they would say just things about my skin tone and whatnot, and my hair, and like I used to be so aff as well, because obviously
you're born in Nigeria, innit? And your parents are
exactly. So like I would mispronounce things, and I'd get bullied for that, and I'd be confused because like that's how my parents speak, and obviously my parents are educated people, so I'm just like, this accent,
is and not just accent, like the lingo.
Exactly. Like I remember one time, right? Is this such a Nigerian word? I don't know if you've heard Nigerians say trafficate.
Nah, what? As in like traffic?
As in indicate.
Nah, that's actually funny, you know. It makes sense though.
I thought that was Queen's English.
Trafficate instead of indicate.
Yeah.
So when you're in traffic, indicate. You're trafficating.
Trafficate this way, yeah. So like I said that in like year 5
that's
or
kind of hard
something.
still.
I got roasted. I was confused because I'm just like, that's English. But
you thought that was genuinely the right word.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's hilarious. Trafficking. I like that.
I feel like they're entering that into the dictionary.
That is hilarious, man.
I heard that.
Trafficate.
It might be fake. Yeah, it's funny. There's so many like Nigerian English words. But
that's funny though.
That is
actually funny still. Yeah. Trafficate. I like that. I might start using it.
My parents still use that word. Definitely.
Yeah, that's not gonna change, man. Exactly. You get me? That's how they brought up, man.
But so like I grew up there.
So it's kind of rough, basically, as well. There. Not rough as in like hood rough, as in like standing out from the crowd rough, being picked on and stuff.
It was,
which is not nice. I hate bullies as well, you know.
Yeah,
hate them.
I think as I went to, I hate it as well. But as I went to like senior school and stuff, I can't say I was bullied in the senior school at all. Even though I was the only.
But did you have a moment where you just thought fuck this and started fighting back or something?
No, it's not even that. Like it wasn't even that. Like I think for me, my main issue growing up was more teachers, because they are racist.
You experienced that, yeah?
I think looking back, I actually
like prejudice kind of thing where they've like without being directly underlining kind of thing, because it's supposed to be professional, innit?
Yeah, they have.
So they do it in their own sneaky way, kind of thing.
It's terrible, and like for me, I was suffering a lot in primary school, and academically I was on a decline, even though my parents, this is why it's really good to have parents that are hands-on, because at home obviously I'm saying my parents are very educated. At home, it's all about books. Like, I didn't get toys, I got books.
That's good though. Like, that's hard. I like that. When you was a youth though, you was vexed about that, innit? Don't lie.
Absolutely. Oh God, it used to be horrible. I hated it. I was like, why can't I just?
Because my brethren used to get that, you know. And we used to bust up on him, man. Like, you know, like I used to go his yard on Christmas, yeah. And he'll get a board game.
Yeah.
Which would be like calm, innit? Like board game, whatever.
I bet it was Scrabble or something.
Something like that, you know, or even that, even if it was still educational. It would be even if it was Monopoly at a push, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it'll get books and shit. And I'll be like, blood, your parents are boring, fam. You get me? Boom, boom. These times, me and my brother are like, bro, we wanted a football kit, or like, man got a new toy or something, or
you're lucky.
Or whatever. Now we were like, my mum and dad were hard working, innit?
Yeah.
We were from humble beginnings. Yeah. Don't get it twisted, but. Like they was like more modern with it, whereas my brethren's mum was older. Like he had an old mum.
I see.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Is he doing well for himself now?
I haven't seen that youth in a long time, man. I ain't seen him in a while. I hope he is.
I hope it paid off anyway.
But it's funny though, because we used to roast him about it. But now, at this age, I'll find myself buying books.
Yeah.
Or listening to them on YouTube or whatever, rather than going out or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spending my money on bullshit.
That's, education is wealth, to be fair. But so I just found that it was the teachers, they just didn't put any energy into me and would often single me out or not want me to progress. So my parents made the decision to put me into private school.
For real?
Yeah.
That's nice.
And it was my parents. Obviously, my dad had a good job, but it was still a massive sacrifice.
Yeah, like, definitely.
Even at
probably had to put a lot of hours into that as well.
Yeah, I when I went to private school, I wasn't one of the rich kids there. I was the.
Oh yeah, you're kind of going into a whole different space there.
Yeah, for sure. So like, I wasn't I just saw all these kids just had so much, and I was always the one that didn't have the cool stuff. But my parents put more of a precedent on, you know, good education. And I think for a lot of black people in this country, a lot of them have to make the decision of, you know, if there's no decent schools in that area, or maybe they're a minority, the only option that they have, which is wrong, is to put their kids into private education. And it's not cheap, and they're having to make serious.
It's mad expensive.
Exactly. Luckily for my parents, they actually ended up doing quite well for themselves. So, and my brothers basically had private education pretty much all through. So I know what it was like when we were in the bando, so to speak.
In the trap house, you know.
Especially my little brother. Him and I had very different
personalities, upbringings.
Yeah, like
what was his compared to yours in a nutshell? Like,
if he wanted a PlayStation,
he got it.
Whereas for me,
everything was patterned by then.
I had charity shop clothes growing up. My dolls and my teddies are from the charity shop. Yeah, they was already set by then.
He was happy.
It didn't even bother me.
He was happy still.
We just had a very different upbringing.
That's funny though.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that a lot in families. By the time you get to the third child, shit's different, innit? Like, because if you think about it, your parents might have even made a conscious decision to have another child because they was in a good place financially. Exactly. So it makes sense, but at the same time, you're right. The upbringing is very it's way different.
It is.
It can be. You know what I mean? I was a middle child as well, so.
Are you?
Yeah, I got an older sister and a younger brother.
Okay.
My brother's 3 years younger than me, and my sister's like quite a bit older. Sister's got a different dad to me, so she was like, she's like a good like 10, maybe like 8 years older than me. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's a big gap.
Like I've got a niece that's like married and that. Do you know what I'm saying?
way.
Yeah, man. So
that's
you get
sick.
me? Yeah, it's mad still. So I can relate to what you're saying. Like there's the relations there, like in terms of like everyone growing up differently. And
it's interesting. It is.
That's a fact.
But yeah, just grew up there, and then I went to uni in Manchester.
Manny's alright. I just had a Manchester guest on last week.
Did you?
Yeah, from Moss side and that.
Oh yeah.
Rough, but Manny's a nice city though. It's got like a good vibe about it.
It is actually. I
think it's underrated actually.
Very. Very underrated.
We're gonna get into Tattoo, the restaurant, later actually. Do you know about that?
Oh yeah.
So there's one in Manchester when I first went to, and now there's a new one in London, isn't
it? Yeah.
So what made you across the course of growing up, right? Was there a moment where media or like, because I don't know how to label it, maybe media?
Yeah.
Was that something like come across the table, or you just thought I'd like the idea of doing this, or did you see someone
presenting
and thought I like that?
I always wanted to be a presenter when I was younger.
Yeah, a lot of women do, you know.
I always did. Like, I used to look at like people like Connie Hook, who was the only black woman. Not Connie Hook, sorry. Was it Angelica? Whatever her surname is.
What was she on?
She was like on BBC, like
the kids thing,
and stuff like that. And even Connie Hook, who's an Asian woman, but like representation was very low back then. So even just to see even an Asian
ethnic
woman
person on telly,
just anyone ethnic was like, oh wow, cool. And then there was that AJ, I forgot her surname. She as well. She's Northern as well.
Okay.
And
what was she on? Another kids program.
Yeah, all the kids.
I think I remember her still, a Northern lady.
Yeah, like beautiful Nigerian woman. But I just thought, you know, there's no way that I could do that. So and also I've got African parents, and it's like, be a doctor, be this, be that. Like,
when dad's a doctor,
outside.
It's mad, isn't it? Like telling him that you're gonna be in music, even if you're an artist, or you're gonna sing, or you're gonna
My
do
brother's
this.
an artist, actually. Is it? Yeah.
Well, Afrobeats.
No, he does like house.
Okay.
Yeah, he does house and that kind of stuff.
Well, like producing.
He's a producer and artist. Yeah.
That's cool.
I
didn't know that.
He is. He's doing quite well for himself as well. It was a bit difficult for him because for my parents to get. My mom's one of these women that's like, I just want my kids to be happy and fulfilled. Whereas my dad's like, what's this? Like, even me, I studied marketing, and I was groomed to be a doctor. Like, I never went, I'm going to be a doctor like my dad. Everyone was like, woo. So like, it was a massive surprise for everybody when I chose completely different A-levels.
Yeah. What did you do for A-levels then?
I did business studies, psychology, geography, and because I just genuinely I thought I was just good at geography, so I was like, that's an easy thing for me. And I was always really good at science. I was always in like top set science, and I just knew I didn't want to go into being a doctor, but I really wanted to do business studies, because I always thought I'm going to go into business when I'm older. I think it's just something good to know. And I just enjoyed psychology, so and then I did marketing.
That's interesting though.
In uni, and
but you're human at the end of the day. Like I've seen a lot of friends and people that I know have done that, where they've gone to study one thing, and then turned out to be something completely different. Do you know what I mean? And it happens to people. Because your journey, the process of your journey changes. Like, you might meet new people, get inspired by something. You know, sometimes in life, all it takes is like just to read a book, even like we were saying. And then all of a sudden, your journey is different. Like, you're looking at things from a different perspective.
Absolutely.
So that's cool. So how did you get into the industry then? What was your first like kind of thing that you took part in?
Well, I started a podcast with my friend called The Clap Back.
I remember that.
And we just we're very similar in the sense that she's from up north as well. She's Nigerian as well. And we were just really good friends, and we just bounce off each other. I think if people listen to that, they'll probably see a different side of me.
What do you mean though?
Like the more kind of how I would be if you knew me as a mate, as a friend.
Okay, like a more. Yeah, it's like a bridging podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Which them ones are good, you know.
I love that.
That's why if I had that, I wouldn't have had to ever stop.
Yeah,
because it's not interview based. It's like true. Conversational based.
Yeah, because if no one turns up,
catch up,
you
just jam and chat shit. You know what I mean? Or not shit as literally shit.
Yeah,
but,
you know. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And then because at this point I was like, I literally can't deal with being a marketer for the rest of my life. It's just impossible. Even though I really enjoy it, but it's just, I had this childhood dream of
to be a presenter.
Yeah, so like
I like that though. I like that. That's good, man.
Yeah, I just feel like for me, I just believe that I can do anything I set myself to do. And
good attitude.
Yeah, like I don't know, when I'm 60 I could choose to be something else. I think be realistic though. Like if I want to be an Olympic athlete right now, like it's not gonna happen. But I think you got to be realistic with these things. But still, like, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
My cousin's gonna laugh that you said that.
Why did he do that?
Nah, he smokes bare weed, yeah.
Oh.
Big spliffs, and he hardly puts even any tobacco in it. He's on a big bud.
Oh man.
And he's mad skinny, and we had this convo where he's actually from America.
Oh, okay.
So we were talking about the English. Excuse me. We were talking about the English kind of thing versus the American mindset.
Yes.
And he's like,
what's the difference?
He was like, I can be anything I want to be, and I was like, yeah, but And he was like, that's why you're English. We say but.
Oh, yeah, we do. We're very modest. Yeah, Americans dream big. The whole thing is like the American dream. That's like that's.
But my man's trying to tell me that if he wants to be an athlete, like a professional basketball player or whatever, he can go and
Okay.
This is the whole point, right? He's saying I can go and do it, and I was like, but bro, not being like pessimistic or nothing, but you can't.
Was he higher or something?
Nah, it's because you're.
At this
and then there was another girl there who's American saying like, yeah, man, like I agree with him. She's American. No
offense to Americans, but I do think that they're a bit delusional.
I like the idea.
I like that as well about them.
Yeah. But it's mad because delusional could be offensive, isn't it? Yeah. But what I think it is I think they have something called the American dream.
Yeah.
The American dream is basically come to America, or if you're from America, we're proud Americans, and sky's the limit.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Say you was to start a business and you're American and you work stacking shelves. You tell your co-worker, I'm leaving, I'll hand my notice in, I'm gonna go start a business. They'll be like, yeah, Faith, I'm gonna be your first customer. That's an American attitude.
Yeah.
An English attitude would be like, are you sure you want to leave? It's a bit risky.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm trying to say? That's the best example I can give. Like
that's proper jars me about British people.
So I get what he was saying, but at the same time, fam, what you said, realistic.
Yeah.
Thinking realistic. That's what I was trying to tell him, bro. Like,
I took him gym. Sprinkle of delusion.
I took him to the gym, for the first time in his life, right? And the next day in the morning, he took paracetamols because he couldn't get out of bed properly. And
what did you do to him?
No, I just said come gym innit, and he's a slim gym. You know what I'm trying to say? He's one of them man that just smoke.
That's not good for the lungs.
Tell him that, man.
It's not good.
But he's you get me? We had that whole argument about like you can be what you want to be realistically. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like you could be that guy.
You can.
And then decide that you're going to be a lawyer.
You could.
Because you could go practice.
Kim Kardashian. I know she's got lots of wealth and lots of resources, whatever, but
Which helps, yeah.
You can.
You can be whatever you want to be within reason, I think.
I think you can.
You can aim towards it and you can definitely give it a go as well, which is the positive side of their attitude. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I hear what you're saying about being realistic though. But I think that's a good thing though, the mindset that do you know what, I'm going to give my dream a go. But I've got education in place already to fall back on. So you can go back to what you want to be when you want to be.
I have a whole last career. So if it goes like tits up, I can just continue doing what I'm doing.
The marketing side of things,
yeah. And people are always going to need.
I feel like they're kind of integrated as well in a way, like in a weird way. Like if you had a podcast situation where you're like, boom, do you know what? I've started a new podcast because I've got like because you could go viral anytime over anything.
Yeah.
Start your own podcast and then you could be the person that is marketing your own podcast and then still sell marketing services.
Yeah, I mean it does help, especially like with social media. I help people with social media.
I remember we spoke about that. Do you remember time ago? Like you was telling me about the plans that you do for people and that.
Yeah. Like I
used to listen to those combos a lot, because at the time I was trying to think, how can I make my
I feel like you're really good at marketing though.
I haven't even thought about it though. That's the thing.
Well,
naturally maybe.
That's exactly that. Like it doesn't have. Some people are just naturally like minded into being creative, how to push themselves.
Do you know what it is? Man took part in some unlawful things when I was young, which involved persuasion and like overselling something to make people buy something.
Right.
And I think they're transferable skills.
Yeah, I mean. It is definitely not the best way to acquire them, but it is life, and you put it to best use. I try to word it
really intellectual as well. Like it was one of them ones, isn't it? Like, and I think you have to convince people that something's 10/10 all the time, and then what happens is as well, you do music, and when you do music, you're being creative and whatnot, and then you've got this piece of art or whatever, and you're like, yo, I've got to let people know this is out. And then growing up listening to hip hop and that, you see like people battle rapping, like you said, but not battle rapping, more like sending a shot at someone so they reply. Like 50 is good at that.
Yeah,
like 50 this is people on Instagram instead of music now.
Yeah,
he's a savage.
I don't like him.
A lot of people don't. They feel funny about it, but he knows what he's doing.
I think he's a rich reprobate.
What's that mean?
Like I just feel like his behaviour is just
childish.
Very childish. Like as a man of your stature and your age, like grow up. It's embarrassing.
He's in America. It's a ratchet country, Sex sells over there, That's what that's a saying. Not literally, like obviously literally it does, but the saying sex sells.
But
sex can be.
They're doing that in the UK though.
Yeah.
Like big time.
Well, literally.
No, like the whole like sex sells thing is like the UK as well.
Because you got to think of what sex means, innit? Like, obviously they're talking about sex. That's where the saying comes from, like porn, whatever, or prostitution, whatever, it all sells. But if you call something sex, something, you just gloss it up and make it sexy or make it attractive, it sells.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Well, I think trash sells.
Yeah.
Like whatever, which way.
Yeah, it can. Well, yeah, it can do. But sometimes the problem with that is it can get people's attention and get like, and it can be entertaining would probably be the right word, because it's like the joke's on you.
Yeah.
But the people that are involved in it might not be able to sell you much more after because of it.
Yeah, it has.
Whereas 50 could sell something again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because he'll make the joke on you, then move on to my new shows out on Monday and it's banging.
Yeah.
And everyone loves it.
His shows are good.
They are good.
They are really good.
That's why he's doing it.
And that's because
he probably knows as well, like, yo, this show is so banging that I can get away with this before.
It is.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I
remember Tasha from Power?
Yeah,
Force is hard.
Yeah, Force is really good.
What do you think of the last episode?
I haven't watched the last one.
What?
I haven't.
You don't love it that much then?
No, I'm on like episode 4 or 5.
Oh, you started later?
Yeah,
I was watching them as they dropped.
Later. Yeah, I did. Yeah. And it's really good. Plus, I have a slight crush on, what's his face? Tommy.
Is it?
Yeah, there's something...
Gangster.
Yeah,
bad boy,
I mean,
man.
don't get me wrong, I would never go near someone like that in real life.
Because of the bullets.
I mean, I don't think I'm
God
for
damn.
that life.
Yeah,
I'm
fuck
not
that,
for that
man.
life. But there's something alluring about his character.
Yeah, he's a bad boy. That's what I'm telling you, man. He's a bad man. And you know what? He's a real G. He's true to the game. Like, you know, like if you watch like Power, the original one, Ghost was a bad man, but Ghost had that allegation of putting Kanan in jail. And
he's a bit slimy.
It's a bit slimy.
No one likes that. Even in real life situations, we always have that person at work.
That's real talk, you know.
That's a bit like that. And do you know, it actually gets people quite far.
It does. The lick ass thing. Yeah, brown nosing, what they call it, innit? Where you're always in someone's ass, licking their bum, man.
And like manipulating people against each other.
Yep.
And
playing the game.
People out. It's quite a narcissistic, sociopathic thing to do.
It's fuckery. That's what it is.
It is. But yeah, those type of people, man.
Yeah, it's true. You know, Tommy hasn't got that in him. Tommy's like stand-up guy.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that like if he goes to court. And they said, "Rah, we bagged all of you." He said, "I don't know them motherfuckers."
You know, Tommy was not a criminal, and he like had that same demeanor, but in like a legit way. I think he'll do really well.
Think so?
I mean, he'll be an insufferable character.
Yeah, what's that mean?
Like people won't be. He'll be like chalk and cheese.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not chalk and cheese. Sorry, he'll be like
chalk. You mean love it, Marmite?
Yeah, like Marmite. Yeah, he'll be
chalk
like
and cheese. It means
two different
goes
things.
together well, innit? So
no, it means like
opposites.
Contrasting.
But they tend to go together well, right? Whereas Marmite is like love or hate.
He'd be a Marmite character, but
I think I'm Marmite.
Sometimes people will probably dislike him, but he'll gain respect. He'll gain respect. And
I can relate to that still. I can't lie, but
he's very ruthless.
Yeah, he's savage.
And you see a lot of like successful people have Tommy Egans in them.
Yeah, definitely, man. I've been in a mad like meeting in a business world right outside of the music and that, where like I had some old man telling man to my face that like, boom, things can be unfair. Yeah. But that's just life, bro. Basically, but he's like some of the biggest achievers. Don't always, do the greatest, nicest things to people.
They really don't.
Some people shit on people, but I didn't like that though, because I kind of I'm like Tommy. I kind of like to be fair as much as I can. Yeah. I'll make the best decision for the business or whatever, but I think I'll be honest with someone.
Exactly. I think that's the thing. You can be ruthless and people are not going to like you. But as long as people know what's up. I mean, I personally don't
that's
like
exactly
those
what
type
it
of
is.
Characters.
Right.
Because I feel like I like things nice.
Yeah.
But
soft life. I hear that.
But I can still respect someone who is like, look, this is what it is. Be on board or don't. Yeah, but I'm going to be unapologetic about the way I am, but I'm gonna get to where I am regardless.
I'm on my mission, basically.
Yeah.
I met people
and I
like
kind of know people like that.
I do too.
But I think it's nice to have a little bit of that in you.
Yeah, I mean, in life you have to. Let's be honest. Like you don't get on the bus if you ain't got money to get on the bus, innit? Like you have to, and that's kind of like a metaphor for life, innit? It's like you need money. You need to have wealth. But the thing is, some people, they're wealthy and they still don't stop. Yeah, that's the difference as well. You get people that are just shitting on people until they're the richest. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like I'm someone that like I would go for mine, but I would still be respectful to others along the way, if that makes sense.
I think bring people in. That's the best thing to do. Definitely.
I like bringing people in though.
I like that.
Do you know what I mean?
In people, and
I like it when you see someone that's like me when I was young, and you're like, yo, he's struggling a little bit, trying to find his way, but I recognize his qualities, whatever. Give them a shot. I like that.
Well, you were saying I think you were saying like in your videos and stuff, you always bring like the kids.
Oh, you saw that bit, yeah? Yeah, always.
And kind of, I think you've also said as well that you like talking to, you've told me this personally, that you like talking to like younger people, like coaching them, because when you were younger, you didn't necessarily have anyone to help guide you.
It's a fact. It's a fact, man. Like, even what I was saying on that video was like, my pops was real, genuine, good brother, but he's worked so much that he was hardly there. Like, not hardly there in a bad way, like he providing, you know, overtime, working, late shifts, whatever, boom. So you kind of like find yourself outside if you're from the ends, whatever. And you know what, opportunity for me is so big because someone gave me an opportunity and they changed my life. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And if they didn't give me that opportunity, sometimes I think to myself like, raw, imagine I bucked someone that don't care. He cared, even though he was a bit kind of like you're saying, like, look mate, fucking love it or lump it, that's what we're doing. You're either with us or you can leave. He was a bit like that sometimes. He was a bit harsh, but he was honest. Do you know what I'm trying to say? If you're with me, let's go, get it. But if you're not, you can fuck off now. You know what I mean? But you've got your opportunity, make the most of it. So I feel like, I do. You know what it is as well, because if I'm being honest on camera as well, as much as I told you how I used to do RTTS for money, whatever, they weren't my most successful days. And rappers, and I'm a rapper as well, and rappers often paint the picture of being rich from illegal
That's real
things.
Talk,
and I'm being really real. My most successful days financially came from business development, broker jobs, sales roles. Like commission based.
I love that so much.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I'm keep it real. And I didn't get, don't get twisted, I didn't work loads of jobs young. I've done a lot of fuckery and messing around and getting sacked from places, and then using, I used to use the getting sacked thing as an excuse to go rap, to make my mum feel calm about me rapping.
Right.
Like, they're just judging me and that, you know, I was 2 minutes late, mum, man. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But I didn't tell her I was 5 minutes late for 17 days in a row, you know what I mean?
Right.
Get fired a lot and stuff from these little warehouse jobs and RTTS. And it took me a while to grow up a little bit and just think, you know what, man? Like, this music thing in England was a bit slow. Like, now the youths are killing it. Like, but at the time, if you didn't, there was no social media. If you didn't have a record deal, you had to fund your own marketing and studio time, videos, pressing up the CDs, dropping the CDs places as petrol, then collecting the money after they sell, if they sell. There was a lot to it, you know what I mean? And I've done well. I've done well for what I had in front of me, and that being from West is quite tough as well in music.
Why is that?
West was like a place where it was just kind of like no one had blown from here. It was seen as like the rich part of London.
Right.
It was seen as like, West Youths, they've got money anyway, man. Boom, boom, boom. East is poor, whatever. South is rough. They used to look at it like that. And then the grime scene predominantly came from East. So if you was in East, you kind of got bought in by default. Wiley lives on my block. He brings me radio, kind of thing. Funny enough, Wiley would bust me on a lot of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, that was he used to come do dances in West, like Tudor Rose and Southall and Joyce's in Park Royal and that. And then he like was like, yo, this youth's cold. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So he gave me like a little, he used to ring me and we used to talk a lot on the phone, and he would say, Rah, you know what, you need to go to meet Target at Radio 1, you need to do this. But I think being from West, it was hard. So the reality of it was like, you was always a bit step behind and had to grind more.
Did people used to lie about where they're from?
What, in West?
Yeah.
Just to get
I'm from North or something.
Nah, you get outed on that, man. You can't even do that still.
Like,
they'd be like, what part? Border. Who do you know? Like, where, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, but before I lose my trail of thought, that music game was kind of hard to make money then. Not saying to the youth it is now. So if you are doing well, push harder than ever. But it took me a lot of dibbling and dabbling in things where I grew up and whatnot to try and find a way to get money, basically. And the way that I've made money, that's all. Going back to your original point, the youths, a lot of youths will come to man and chat to man or see man around and stop man. Not saying I'm a greatest rapper, that's why, or the most successful, is more so because of the accolades, like nice car, dressed in design or whatever, you know, the material things that kids look at. They see that first, and then that gives them your attention. You get their attention because they want that same watch or they want that same car, them same kicks, or like, yo, my man's always got the rare. And then it's like, oh, he goes America with Dave East. He's doing this and that. So they look at it as like, he's not just like someone who stays on the block all the time.
Yeah.
And raps. He's more than that. You know what I mean?
Do you ever talk about, you know, your like professional career in the more 9-to-5 profession?
Not really, you know.
With them.
This is probably the most I've let off now still, to be fair.
I think
with them, sorry. Yeah, always.
Them.
Yeah. Not on camera, but with them, yeah.
I feel like that this is also why I really love like the show that I do To the Forefront, because they're kind of like, I think long term the goal is to really, it's called To the Forefront because we want to bring important stuff to the forefront. And I think in our like in this culture, in the like community, whatever you want to call it, there's a lot of glamorization of influencers and rappers, and just that's the only way to make it out the hood or make it in life.
Yeah, sports and music and drugs kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like, no, actually, because there's people living, and I think a lot of people are getting more clued up, like the younger generation get more clued up. But I think it's nice to paint a picture that you can't actually have a very successful life, have the nicest things in life, which is totally fine. If you go down a different avenue, which is why we have like, and we're filming an upcoming one with doctors. I think a lot of kids, you know, and young people probably don't think that, because I grew up in a certain environment, I can't be a doctor, I can't be a lawyer.
Facts.
I can't go into like what you did.
Yeah, it's a fact. So, right. No, but even me, I'm not even a good example of that, because I actually know man that were like really my brethrens that were enrolled, that were on this thing as well. One of them, he's a qualified doctor now.
Is he?
Yeah, my boy. Sick. He's Nigerian as well.
Sick.
He's been through the trenches. Like I'm telling you, like if you had asked me back in the day, could you ever see your boy being a doctor? I'd laugh. Now my man's just scanning X-rays and for people's broken bones and diagnosing them and that.
No way.
Fully qualified doctor.
I love that.
Like he's been through. Like he changed his life. He found religion. And then from religion he went into studying. Met a woman while he was studying and in the same field, settled down, whatever, and became a doctor. I'm very proud of him. He knows who he is. I'm very proud of him. Like even my mum is proud of him. Like, you know, like that. Like it's proper. Like, and that, you're right. Still, that's a true example of someone turning it around, because he used to be on this thing. Yeah, like he'll scuff 4 man on his own and that, like back in the day.
No way. I think it's like, obviously I think people are very talented, and if you have a passion for, you know, music, then definitely go for it. Or if you have a passion to be a sports person, go for it. Definitely, like I said, do that sprinkler delusion, like do your thing.
Do you know what? But I'll share something with you quickly, yeah? Just why it's on, sorry to cut you as well, but I'll share something with you. My thing is, I was in the music industry, going to bare studio sessions, radio sets, music videos, this, that and the third, parties, events, whatever. And I can't lie, I started realising that a lot of these artists are broke. And this sounds mad, because I don't want to like shit on no one or nothing, but I'm like, fam, like I'm not trying to live like that, bro. Like even when you are from the ends and that, you see the shotters, you see the hustlers, you see the robbers, you see the stick up kids, you see the rappers, and all of the things that you do see is normally the man that's selling the food and that has got more money than everyone. Yeah. Naturally, because he's selling a product straight with no tax and whatever. Yeah. So he's getting it.
But I learned that a lot of these people also, because I was like, why is there so many drug dealers and why are they all so rich? Because like in any industry, because everyone
wants to take drugs.
But in every industry there's competition and not everyone succeeds.
That's why there's beef.
But yeah, people are portraying this thing of like, I have so much money, like and stuff. But then I spoke to someone and he told me that actually a lot of the time that they don't actually have a lot of money. They're using the money that they're supposed to use to re-up, as you say, to kind of use that to kind of flaunt in a way.
It depends though on who they are and what they do, because you got different types of drugs and you got different types of drug dealers. So you've got like A class, B class, whatever, boom, boom, boom. You got set, like, it depends. You know what? This is the maddest thing. All it comes. Well, I don't want to talk about that stuff too much, but all it comes. No, just in general though. But for the listeners, there, no, like all it comes down to in that life is the connect. That's all I'm gonna say. If the connect's good, you're good, and then you become what you're supposed to become, and then the next step after that is, do you have boss tendencies or not? Because if you're a boss, then you become even bigger.
Right.
But if you're not, you just stay that guy, but you're still doing your thing. But the moral of my story is that they're more likely to have dough than a rapper.
Yeah, okay,
do you get it? So like rappers, I've seen rappers, trust me, man, like they're trust me, like hustling free studio sessions and using up and coming cameramen to try and get a cheap video and that. And I've seen all of that stuff, and I've thought to myself, do you know what, man? I'm not even, and it's not a disrespect, cause some people ain't like that. Some people have gone clear, but I'm just not on that, bro. Like, I want to have I don't want to ask. No, I'm a Leo. I'm quite prideful, but I'm not prideful in areas where I don't need to be. But in terms of asking for free handouts, I'm not into that.
Yeah.
Help is fine, but I don't want nothing for free. Like, I want to do business. I want to partner with you.
Yeah. I think just being a musician is not an easy road. You talk to any, like, even just like people like Mariah Carey and stuff like that. When you actually look into their story, they were all broke as it gets.
People have slept on the couch and that just to like other people's yards and that, just because they ain't got nowhere to live and that while they're recording. Do you know what I mean?
It's a choice of, do I eat today or do I pay for this studio session?
I'm eating every time, so I can't be that guy. Really? I'm telling you, I absolutely can't be that guy. So I needed to fight. That was the whole point of my journey. My journey was like, how am I gonna make this dough, man? And it was a music producer that plugged me in with the sales guy.
Right, interesting.
So even being in the music industry and networking opened doors for man. But it's like, don't be so narrow-minded like the youths. And I've seen youths rapping, and I say, look, why don't you go and be an estate agent? Why you make music?
What do they say to that?
They'd be like, oh, blood, like, not like I just ain't got the opportunities and that. And I'm like, but you haven't tried yet. We just started talking about it now, and you're saying no. Like, you got to go and do the job interviews and that, and put your best suit on and put your best tone of voice on and try. You got to try it, man.
Sales jobs are good ways to, if you don't have like the qualifications, like doing sales jobs, all you need really is just that tenacity. A lot of the time. Yeah,
you do. And most managing directors and CEOs of companies are salesy, because that tenacity is needed.
It is
to even sell your employees on your dream.
Yeah,
like absolutely. You need to be that guy, bro.
Yeah.
So, like, again, transferable skills, man. There was one youth from my ends, used to get all the girls. They were like, skin you trapper. See him all the time outside. Rah, rah, rah. There's music and that, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. I say to him, bro, have you ever thought about working as an estate agent? Yo, act, man, I want to go legit. I thought about it. I said, so how many interviews you done? I can't lie, you know, man, done none. Da, da, da. And I'm like, why? Do you know what I'm trying to say? And now my man, he's got a youth and a job. But I feel even like, I can't say I did that.
Yeah.
But I played a part. Because he had the same, I can't even say that actually on camera. I was going to say that. No, I can't say that. But anyway, I like the youth. There was a reason why I gravitated towards him. We had something in common. And then me and him ended up, like, you get me, he'll come chill at my yard and that, chat and that, boom, boom, boom. And I used to just put it in his head all the time. Go do that, man. That suits you. Go get into this, go get into that. You know what I mean? And even when I take the youth studio and that, sometimes like, I'll come to a studio session and I'm recording 4 songs or whatever that I've written, and I know that's a 6-hour session or whatever, minimum. So the fact that they're on the sofa drinking and chilling with me, they're not outside getting into madness.
It's true.
That's because I used to get into madness, and the youth centre saved me from the roads.
Yeah.
The youth centre is where I started DJing.
They're getting rid of them all though.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Exactly. They got rid of them.
It's hard.
So that's why it's good for man to say, raw, come studio and that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, man. So to go back to your show, you done the podcast with your friend, so it was more of a friend-based thing.
It was,
So even if a guest don't turn up, you just get on with it.
Exactly.
Current topics.
Like
normal life.
It was weekly, so we always used to just talk about trending topics and just ourselves as well, just being like 20-something-year-olds at the time. And just, you know, young women, professional experiences, being black women, like dating experiences, just funny shit that happens in life. And then I like, obviously my friend's very happy doing what she's doing, like I obviously wanted to pursue more content based work, so I just randomly saw a audition thing to audition for Talk That Talk. So I went to audition.
You went for an audition for that?
Yeah, there was a whole audition process. I didn't really think I'd get it, to be fair, because I feel like for me, I feel like with those kind of opinion-based topics, people like to see very like over-the-top characters and very like
I get what you mean.
Like very forceful, and the kind of people that we kind of love to watch type thing. And my demeanor is not really like that. I'm more kind of chilled out and very like I don't like to force my opinion by shouting or being argumentative.
I've noticed that.
It's not really my communication
Sometimes
style.
I can see in your face though that you want to reply to them, but you don't. You just let it go.
Yeah,
because you listen to their side and leave it.
Yeah, I like listening to discussions, and I think maybe that's a bit boring. Maybe.
Nah, it's a good skill.
It's a good skill. Me.
It's a good quality. Listen, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so listening is definitely a skill in itself.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think I just didn't think I'd get it because I just felt everyone's big personalities in the sense that you hear them before you see them. That was there, but somehow, like, I guess this is why it's good to be true to yourself, because somehow it worked, and I got picked to be on the panel. Yeah,
I think that shows good luck, man.
Yeah, so I really am proud of
talk.
What we've done, and like, you know, our producer, he's great. I think he's learned. I can see even his progression because he creates different types of content.
Outside of that. Yeah.
So like I'm really proud of like.
Who are you on there with again? Is it a set panel?
There's like a cast of us. Obviously myself. There's Cherry Tart / Elizabeth. There's Gigi. There's Remy. There is Aish now, who's pretty much
doing her thing.
And
she's quite controversial.
Laura. Yeah, Aish is
in a weird way.
I think Aish is definitely the most controversial person.
And she's got a mad laugh, innit?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
First time I heard it, I was like, "What the hell is that?"
That's what made me.
But I love that. Do you know what? I think she gets a lot of flack. Like, people just love to hate everything she says, and yeah, she does say some pretty mad things.
Yeah.
Do I agree with everything she says? Of course not. But the thing about Aish is that she's real, and she's such a lovely girl.
Which is important, to be real.
She's a lovely, lovely girl, and she just. And do you know what? She can handle it. She can handle it. She knows what she's signed
doing
up for.
Doing her thing.
Yeah, she's a really sweet girl. She is.
Yeah, there's been some interesting shows on that. I've watched a few of them. Like the religion one was really big for me.
That one.
Do you know what's mad? It's mad. I know, man. I could tell I was watching you. I was thinking, Jesus. Not literally Jesus, but you know, like, well, literally Jesus, that case. No pun intended, innit? Literally. I was just like, raw, but it's a deep one because.
How do you feel about religion?
Oh shit, we're going there.
Do you know what? To go too deep.
Nah, we can because you know what, we can, because your name is Faith, first off.
Yes.
Which is an amazing name, very meaningful name. Thanks. So big up your parents. Big up your parents still on that one.
Yeah.
So exactly. I was gonna ask you what faith means to you to start that kind of thing, but I guess I can start if you want. If you're asking me, I don't mind. We can.
It's up to you. It's your show.
Nah, you're the guest, man. It's not. You know what it is? Because you're asking me. I thought, you know what, we could fast track to that because it's mad. I listened to everyone's take on it on the show, and I think everyone had good points in their own right.
Yeah.
And the thing for me is, I've been kind of like not battling with myself, but trying to work out if I'm spiritual or religious.
Right.
You understand me?
Yeah.
Because I feel like religion is man-made.
Okay.
Right? God is God. I feel like this is my personal opinion, right? I feel like every religion that prays to a higher power, a higher being, aka God, is the same religion in my eyes.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like Islam and Christianity is the same thing. I feel like we all pray to the same creator, God. Yeah. But the major difference between Islam and Christianity, for example, is that Jesus is not God's son, is a prophet.
Yeah.
Instead of God's son.
Yeah.
Now, obviously it's deep. I weren't there. I don't know for sure. So I can only go. Which is what faith means to me. Faith is like having a belief in something that you can't see or prove.
Yeah.
That's what faith means to me. Which is your name, right?
Yeah.
Which is why it's so meaningful, because I even had an album called The Gift of Faith. That was like a album project that I dropped 2014, 2013. And the reason I made that is at the time my nan had passed of cancer during the making of it. I went through some sort of like anxiety and stuff that I didn't even know was real. I was on some manly shit like, that shit ain't real.
Shit's real.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought I was just like dying or something at one point. Like I was going to A&E a lot.
Yeah.
But basically, in a nutshell, my faith and I'm actually was with a girl at the time who was really religious. I'd met her and started to get to know her, dating her and whatnot. And she didn't force it on me or push it on me, which is what I really respected about her. She just used to like be positive about things and then say things to me that were deep. And let me think about it myself.
I think that's the best approach, definitely.
100%.
I don't think you should really force religion on anyone, which is, you know, like when you're going down Oxford Street and you see these people like
preachers,
if you don't repent today, you will die.
You'll burn in hell.
Burn in hell.
Like, God,
you horrible sinners. And I'm just like, do you really think that's an effective way? Like, if we're even taking this back to like marketing, do you really think that this is an effective way to bring people on board?
Do you reckon it works in a way for some people though, for followers? I think people that are kind of weak-minded and that. Or
I think some people are very like fear-minded, like to the point where, I mean, it has to work if they're doing it. But I also think it's more to do. Right? I think it's more to do with those people doing it than maybe them. I think part of it's more selfish and self-serving than it is to do it like altruistically to try and get people into the church.
Yeah.
But that's a different conversation altogether.
Yeah, facts.
But yeah, I do think that we should be an example of what of the religion we represent.
Right.
And I think that should ultimately allure people to us and make people intrigued. Like, we should be different. And the Bible actually does say that we should be the light in the world. So yeah, I think that's really lovely the way that you were, you know, looking into your faith.
Yeah, like questioning it and stuff. But it's like, you know what it is for me, it's kind of like, I think when I deep it, I think I am more spiritual than religious because I haven't read the full Bible. I didn't, like, I was christened at birth and whatnot, young. I've got like religious people within my family, not the strongest or not the most consistent churchgoers and whatnot. Over time, I have gone church here and there and read here, but not like religiously every week.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm very, very spiritual. Like I wouldn't even get up without praying.
Yeah.
Oh, and go to bed without praying, kind of thing. If I do, I would feel really bad about it. Like that's how I personally feel. Like I think like I give thanks for everything all the time. I don't like I feel blessed. Like I look at small things as blessings. New day, new opportunity, food, water. Like even just like any door that opens for me, like that's meant to be for me. That's how I feel. If it closes, I used to get like mad at stuff when I was younger. Like people ain't bringing me in, or someone won't do this. Even like what we spoke about earlier, me not being able to go to that event, whatever.
Yeah.
I was fine with that because you know what? I'll just order some chicken wings and chill.
Well,
because
exactly.
that's I'm probably not meant to go to that.
Yeah.
That's how I always see things.
Yes.
Because otherwise God would make me go. You know what I'm trying to say?
I do believe that as well. Definitely.
I think the interesting thing was the host, the light skinned lady. She was like seemed like to be the host on this side. What's her name? Sorry.
Yeah, Remy.
Remy. Yeah, she kind of had a little outburst in it on one of them where she was kind of like, you lot are like belittling my thing because I ain't following a set of written rules, whatever I read. And I get what she was trying to say, but I feel like, you know what, I'll tell you a story, yeah? So I've got one of my best friends, he's Muslim. He's African, but he's from a country that is predominantly a Muslim country, right?
Right.
So he's grown up Muslim, I've grown up quote unquote Christian, let's just call it Christian. We're best friends, we rolled together, we've done dirt together, we've done good together, we've had fun together, we've beefed, we've done everything, you name it, right? And we used to have he's actually the reason that I started the podcast. Because he used to see me link like rappers that from America that were like big, and he'd like freeze up around them, like not know what to say, because it's like I've been watching this guy on telly for like 10 years and that. But he's a serious guy as well. So to see him go quiet sometimes, I used to be like, this guy. But then he'll be like, yo, bro, after why are you talking to him like that, man? Like he's just a normal dude. I said, he is.
Yeah.
And he was like, you got to start recording these convos because you asked him something crazy, bro. Like you even took him off guard. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Like when there was a big rapper that was chilling with us, and I said to him about we had a basically, I won't say the rapper, but the rapper, instead of saying, I want weed to smoke, he was like, I want edibles to eat.
Oh, okay.
And then he had like a link in a different city, Birmingham or something for them. And I'm like, blood, I don't care who you are, I ain't driving to Birmingham for you to eat some weed, bro. Like
that's bad.
I said, fam, I'll get you some good draw right now, blood. Shut up, man. You get me? Boom, boom, boom. And my brethren's just thinking, raw, like the way you just tell him sit down and went and just told him no, and he was just like, he listened as well and felt hot about it. Because,
wow, that's a real diva. I wonder who that is.
No, but it wasn't even a diva. It comes across divish. But
it's a bit.
But my brethren was like, fam, the way you deal with them, man, there, you can interview people and that, like you could. You get it? Like you could record if you could record these convos, that would be sick. That's how the podcast idea came around. But the reason why I bring him up is because we used to have deep conversations outside of this stuff. He would never come on a podcast, but me and him was the original podcast in the sauna, you know what I mean? Or on the bus or wherever we're chilling, eating chicken, whatever, watching movies, talking, boom, boom, rah, rah. But he said something to me one time, he was like, bro, I can never be with a woman that's not religious. That's what he said to me. Or God-fearing. Yeah. And then I was like, yeah, do you know what? I hear that. Like, I kind of hear that too. You get me? Like,
I'm the same.
And we ended up having a conversation about that in terms of like, because I met a girl, banging body, 10-10 and that. Chris picked up for dinner. We'll go to eat. And I've got a cross pendant on my other chain.
Right, yeah.
And I've got my cross pendant on. And she goes to me, oh, that's a nice chain. Why you got a cross on your chain? What made you get that? And I said, because I'm religious, you know what I mean? Like, I believe in God. Like, I feel like that's my guidance and that, whatever. Yeah. And she was like, oh, that's cute. Yeah, I don't believe in that. And I'm like, right. I said, okay, cool. So what do you believe in? Because I was just taken back. Like, what do you believe in? And she was like, oh, I just believe in like basically like that Big Bang kind of thing, science and.
How is that what you believe in? That I can't get my head around. But I believe in the Big Bang. But it's like, do you never question why things? Because I actually believe in the Big Bang. Yeah. Right. If that's what
respect
science,
their belief still. You get me?
We have to understand as well that the Big
Science
Bang
exists.
is not actually solid. It's not 100%. It's called a theory. So when scientists can prove up to a point when it comes to stuff like that, which is why they call it a theory, although there is a lot of scientific like stuff
evidence
that backs
in
it,
and that,
they can never be 100% sure, which is why they call it a theory. However, say this theory is correct, I do believe, okay, fine, it's correct, but for me it's more like a thing of like, we're actually describing how God created Earth. We found his blueprint as to how things are, and I feel like that's what science is all about, is decoding God.
Exactly. It
and
exists
not
in the same
to the
place.
point where we're like, okay, now we know what God does, we can do it better. Not that kind of thing. It's just, as humans, we're inquisitive and we want to know how things
more
are.
And why.
And God gave us the brains that we have and has allowed us to evolve to this point where we are so intelligent that we can actually like
help ourselves more.
Help ourselves. And I think that's a blessing. And I don't
100%.
I don't understand how someone can say I don't believe in a higher being because I believe in the Big Bang.
Yeah, I agree. You do get them though. You do get people that are like that. I've met many people like, and do you know what? In that Remy's defense, I've actually met people in my life that at first I'm a bit unsure about them because of their beliefs, but then over time they've actually turned out to be really beautiful people that have a big moral compass.
I have friends.
But I used to think like, woman-wise, I can't be with a woman like that because you don't have no one to answer to.
But
that's what I used to feel like. Yeah, exactly.
Relationship. I think for friends it's fine because I don't have to potentially raise a family with them.
Exactly.
I think we can appreciate.
Don't have to get married to them basically as well.
Exactly. Yeah. You can still be a wonderful person.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna think you're a bad person because you don't have religion. But am I gonna marry someone like that? I can't, because that's a completely different dynamic altogether.
Yeah, it's 100% different. Like, you're very different people already. Yeah. So like the other things that you may have in common may be nowhere near as deep as that. Like, you might like the same kind of soaps and series. You might like similar food, but it's still, you can find that with someone else.
Exactly.
Who is believing in your beliefs or whatever. But like, even like, you see, like some religions are quite strict. So like, if you was Christian and you met someone that is from Islam, for instance, and their family might not be all right with that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I think that's where religion sometimes has flaws in terms of like separation, dividing a little bit.
But you can say that with anything really. Like, even politics divides people.
Does.
And stuff. And I think there are a lot of things that divide us. But, you know, I don't particularly think it's a bad thing that religion might stop you from being with someone, because at the end of the day, like, we have to raise marriage. Most people that are married have kids. I like to think they go into that, and also kids should be, you know, something on the table. And if you are from two different belief systems, it's just not gonna work. But it doesn't mean that in society you have to write off everyone who isn't a Muslim, for example, or who isn't a Christian.
Facts.
I don't think you should segregate yourself in that way, but I think when you're in a family, you should already be on the same page.
I hear you, but love is powerful as well. Imagine you fell in love with someone and you feel like that's your soulmate, genuinely. That's quite a tough pill to swallow.
It happens to people. I personally have just tried to stay away from that because I know that love is powerful, and I'm someone that can fall in love quite hard. So I have kind of avoided.
But even that in itself, that's more evidence of it separating a little bit, right?
I guess.
Because I think that's the thing that bothers me sometimes. Because it's like, if we are all praying to God and worshipping the same God, in my opinion, we are. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like, I feel like that is enough for me to have like a relationship with someone. Because if we're talking about like being a God-fearing person or someone that is, but let's say, I just believe in God, like, rather than just titling it, I believe in God, right? And church itself is obviously, the meaning of church is praying with a group.
Yeah.
Rather than a building.
Yeah, it's like fellowship.
Yeah.
I'm very specific about the God that I particularly pray to.
Yeah.
And I have no qualms in, only choosing people who believe in that too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, personal preference.
For some people that might sound mad.
No, but it's your life though.
But
it's your life at the end of the day. For anyone that like may misinterpret this, it's personal. It's very personal decisions though.
Exactly. And people think that when you say that, you mean like you look down on anyone else. Which is not the case.
It's just a choice.
This is who I'm gonna be with for the rest of my life,
especially relationship wise,
and have kids with. It's gonna be a madness. I hear the madness that happens when, not in all situations, but it can be a madness raising kids in a dual. Even just, it doesn't even have to be religion. Sometimes it can be very difficult when you're from two different races, for example. Some people. It's beautiful.
It could have happened to me because you know my background.
Exactly.
But it didn't, because my dad is more spiritual rather than religious.
I see. Yeah,
not
it could have been you.
But my mum is church on, you know what I mean? So, like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Some people, for them, like, the love is enough, and I think that's really beautiful. And some people, it's like, we're gonna fight for this, and it's very beautiful. But I just like an easy life, and I know that I have my ideals that I want for my life as well. I have friends that are from all different walks of life. And I think it's very enriching to have that in your life. So I'd never like write people off based on just based on like their religion or whatever. But when it comes to dating, that's a different kettle of fish altogether.
100%, man. It is a big decision. Like, I think, but then again, I've got like a friend, right? Another friend that's a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he has been nothing but a supportive, not just supportive, but a wealth of knowledge, and someone that will give you the best advice, that thinks about you when he gives you advice, not just says it to sound cool. And he's someone that's like, he's just not religious, right? And I didn't even actually really know this till late. I think he's changed his beliefs and stuff, like looking into things. And I trust him in my life still, same way. You know what I'm trying to say? So I don't know, man.
So he's becoming more inquisitive into that stuff.
Yeah, like we got into a conversation, and he basically just told me, actually, do you know what? Leave this convo alone, because he's just like, knew he was gonna offend me or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Let's leave that. Fuck all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he was just like, raw, like, because remember, there's a lot of old religions as well. Like, I've met old Caribbean man, and that rare they're praying to something different.
Right.
Like an ancestry type of religion, and then you got Rastafarians, then you got Sikh, Hindu. There's so many wide ranges of religions.
There is.
And there is a lot to learn from everyone. There is a wealth of knowledge and a lot to learn from each individual movement and whatnot. But I don't know, man. I just feel like the way I live my life is righteous as I can be. Because let's be honest, if we're being really honest as well, like someone could get married under God, go to church every Sunday, and then still cheat on their wife a couple times a week.
Yeah, which is wrong.
Of course, very wrong.
And I think,
but it happens a lot though.
There's a lot of like people who.
But they'll say that they're a good person and that because they're not doing certain other things in the rules.
That.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think people think just because you are people think that because you're religious, you now are very like. You think you are an angel and you look down on everybody and stuff. And I think this is the kind of thing that happened on that episode.
Yeah.
Where Because like, especially if you're someone that is happy to stand 10 toes down and say, I am a follower of Christ, right? Then now all of a sudden it's like, let's pick at your lifestyle. Let's pick at this. Let's pick at that. And it's like, people, I think a lot of people, I'm going to keep it real, are very insecure with where they stand spiritually. No, 100%. Yeah.
So
it riles them up because to them, and I think we have to be compassionate to it as well.
That's facts, you're right.
Because for them, there could be trauma involved with that. Maybe they've been treated less than human by people who are religious because of some of their choices in life. Or for them, it's just triggering because they know maybe they're doing things that are, you know, not in accordance to certain religions.
Or they might actually be jealous that
and
you
I think
found
that too.
That journey and you're on your journey and they're scared.
There's so many different things. So I think like, it doesn't really, I mean, there was a certain
one of my
point
friends, she locked all of us off. I've never spoke to her since she become born again.
She locked you off?
Locked everyone off.
Oh, wow.
Love her to death, man. But she just was like, you know what, I'm starting again, man. That's it, man.
I mean,
she went on her journey and that's it. What can you say?
That's her own, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but I think like, when you are someone who's happy to say I'm a Christian or I'm a Muslim or whatever religion it may be, people then take that as license to like say, oh, but what about this? Yeah. Like, for example, I'm a Muslim. Oh, but you drink. What, like, and they just pick at that, and pick at these things, and it's like, nowhere does it ever say that we are perfect.
No human is perfect.
We're not perfect.
Yeah, no human.
And I'm not gonna lie.
In fact, if you read the Bible, have you read the Bible?
Yeah.
I think is it the story of Jacob?
Yeah.
He was perfect.
I mean,
sinless. Apparently.
He can't have been
because he's human. But he was like the best.
The way that the Bible depicts him, he was. I'm not a theologian, so I don't.
What's that mean? You got a school. Listen, I came out fucked up, man. I didn't go to school much, man.
It's someone who studies like the Bible as like a scholar.
Okay. Okay. So, I like that word though. That's hard.
It's a nice word.
It's hard.
But I am not one of them. But Jacob he's a very important character in the Bible, and so he's someone to respect, definitely. But you know, the Bible as well it doesn't unless if you know the kind of like the deep backstories of people, it does give often can give a certain surface level, especially if someone's not very read into the Bible.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
But there's definitely people in the Bible that are really amazing examples of people to kind of like emulate.
But that story, he was like used as an example of someone that will stay faithful after going through getting everything and more taken away from them.
Yeah, I think that's what faith is though, isn't it?
Yeah, but at the same time, that could also be read by someone as like, perhaps it's better to not be perfect or near perfect. It might be better to have flaws so that you can... Because there's a saying, isn't it, where it's like... I can't remember the saying, but I actually heard it recently where they're like... And it was from a priest, I think, where they were saying basically someone that's a bit lost is their main priority.
What do you mean?
As in, like, you know, like to bring back, to work on. God will work on someone that needs help, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Where that guy, his backdrop was kind of like, he was already doing everything he's supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, God loves everyone, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I guess some of the most lost people are the ones that need God the most. But I think like to say that it's better to be with
That's what some people would say though. I'm not saying that it's the right thing to say, but some people would look at it like that.
It's a weird thing to say.
Do you think so?
I think people just say it because it makes them sound intelligent.
Do you think so?
Because that's a weird thing to say. Obviously, God loves us all, and God needs...
Yeah, because I guess so, because you wouldn't purposely be that person. You either are or you ain't, kind of thing.
It's not like I'm going to sit here now, like, be actually, a drug dealer, drug taker, strip on a pole, be a whore, and now all of a sudden, like, I am worthy of God. Like, that doesn't make any sense, but... I hear what they're saying.
They got everyone that does all the above, man. No discrimination, is it? Do your thing.
Do your thing. God loves you.
But you know what?
That's mad. They do all the above.
But you get it though. You get my. Do you get my angle with that example though? So I understand why some people are like what they are with their beliefs and that.
Yeah, I do.
It's deep. It is deep. Still.
It's always this conversation that's just gonna
trigger some people, and then other, no, it's true.
But I just came to the conclusion, which is partly why I was the way I was. I'm not here to debate people on a mad level when it comes to my faith. Like, if you don't like it, is what it is. That's your problem.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna resort to like those kind of ad hominem, like petty, like, you know, rebuttals, that's your problem as well.
It's serious. It's a deep one still. Personal choices. We're going to leave it down to that, I think.
I think so.
Personal choices, personal belief systems. The way some people, it's the way you're brought up and what you're born into, and then others is what you research and believe in. But
exactly, I think it's more important to debate people who, I feel like with all religion, right? Even New Age religions and spirituality, I feel like it's a lot of falseness. Obviously, you get false prophets, you get, you know, in all facets, and I think you get that in Christianity. We know that for sure. Definitely. You get that in Islam. We know that for sure. But like, I feel like this whole spirituality thing as well. There's so many people who are just doing it for the and saying all kinds of nonsense things and being false prophets in that as well.
No, it's true. It always will happen though. Infiltration, you know what I mean?
It will.
Happens in every aspect of life, man.
Yeah, it does.
But that's what faith meant to me. I guess that's what it means to you, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, like, faith to me is like my life is about that, really, ultimately. And it's just something that is, I think for me, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not going to sit here and say like I haven't had moments where I haven't like questioned things or struggled with my faith. Like, I've had some pretty effed up things happen to me in life.
Yeah.
I've been through adversity.
Yeah.
And like, even this is even not that long ago, that I just had a succession of really bad things happen in life.
Right.
And I think it's easy to thank God to some degree when things are okay, but when you're going through really, really tough
trials
things,
and tribulations,
it can either bring you closer to God or push you further away. And I think I was doing this a lot. I think for me, eventually I just got a grip and was like, listen, like, I either do this on my own, I don't have, you know, answers, or there's God who has my back. And I'm never one to say like, God, why did you let this happen? Because I kind of understand what life's all about. But
it's facts. It's like, you got, it's right. What they say sunny days and the sun comes after the rain, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
and it actually really does.
The rough and the smooth thing is real.
It is.
There's no way you can go through every day in life with nothing going wrong.
But I think this generation, it is kind of, we are grooming people to feel like everything's supposed to be okay.
Right.
And the minute there's a bit of adversity, now everyone's suffering from like some mad anxiety
mental
or
health.
Depression. It's mental health.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I watched
that's been big lately as well.
Piers Morgan interview with Stephen Bartlett.
Okay.
Podcast, and he said that. And you know what? I thought to myself, at first I was like slightly triggered. I was like, what the hell is he talking about saying that? But I sat and thought about it. I was like, yeah, it's true, because I feel like people are not being as resilient as they used to be. And I think we are taken away from people who are genuinely suffering from mental health problems and true depression. And
I hear you still.
And everyone's like, I've got anxiety. The word I have anxiety is just so flippantly used. And people who are genuinely suffering from that, if I was suffering from anxiety, and I would think, what the hell?
Now it's true, like you see certain like celebs and whatnot using that story because it sounds good.
Yeah.
The journey of going through things and whatnot, and some of it's self-inflicted as well.
That happens to all of us.
Some of it's self-inflicted too. Some people go down they go down the road of drug abuse and alcohol abuse and stuff, and then of course you're gonna get
we have
anxiety.
To give compassion though.
No, of course.
Because I think for some people, even though it can be self-induced, it's kind of like, well, to be fair, I can understand how they got like that.
Yeah.
But some people just have all the privilege in the world and still want to make themselves some kind of victim.
Do you know what? I hear that, but one thing I will say in like, just as a human, rather than whether it's rich, poor, famous, not famous, is that everyone's journey is different, and everyone's life. Happiness doesn't come from wealth. Happiness doesn't come from being more famous. Happiness doesn't come from being kind of entitled either, to be fair. No. I feel like happiness comes from within. I know as corny as that might sound, I don't think you could ever buy happiness, man.
I don't think you can.
So that's why I think mental health can, and sometimes when you've got more, it's tougher as well.
It is.
Sometimes. Because you might not even know who's your real brethren. You might not know who's got your best interest. You might, like, even your own family members could be using you for opportunity or money. So it's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a weird one, but I think you have to be realistic still, though. I feel like if you're going through things, like when I went through the anxiety thing, I thought I was dying because I didn't even care about that
But
stuff.
That's real.
Yeah, I had to go A&E bare times.
There'd be someone who gets stressed because they've missed the bus, and all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm having such a bad day, I'm having anxiety.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, this is where we have to be careful.
You're the stress, bruv.
Sometimes people go through, because I've had it, like, you go through a succession of really
chain
bad
of events,
things, and you're resilient, and you're like, yeah, I got this. And it could be that little thing, like, oh, I dropped my Greg sausage roll on the floor after I just bought it, or something, and that just sends you over the edge. And everyone's looking at that like, you just had a meltdown over that, but they don't know that you've gone through, like, you might have lost someone, you might have lost your job, you might
That's why you, even me, like, when, you know, like how people always talk about like knife crime in the UK and that.
Yeah.
I don't even look at it as just youths, man, them and that. I look at it as in, like, any weirdo motherfucker in the world could turn around and try and do a madness because you don't even know what they've been through today.
Well, it happens in America all the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And I think that's the thing, like, people just have mental meltdowns and that, like, they just go through a chain of events and then something clicks.
They do.
And then it's bomb. So I'm always really cautious of everyone that comes around me or walks past me and that. I've always been like that.
But I think in our generation is a bit more like, whoa, you know, like the whole, like, people get riled up about things because it's not politically correct type thing. It's facts. And even that ties in with, like, the whole cancel culture. People get so irate over stuff, and I think that affects our mental health. It's a mad old world when it really shouldn't.
Yeah, the cancel culture thing's fucking mad as well, Carl.
It's crazy.
It's mad still. I don't even know much about it, but I've been seeing it.
Some people do deserve to get cancelled.
It's a bit
real.
It's techie.
People this week deserve to get cancelled.
This week, you know.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie. Few people's fave. Certain individual needs to get cancelled.
Rotted. It's like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why I'm not saying his name, but
swear. Why who you talking about?
Tim Westwood.
Oh man. I don't even have an opinion on it yet, I'll be honest, because I haven't watched the thing and that.
I've got a lot of opinions.
I hear you, man. I'm listening.
I have a lot of opinions. Okay, the man is disgusting. I feel like he needs to go to jail with the fastness and the quickness. I think that. Do you know what? I'm going to say a lot of things that are going to annoy people on this topic. When I was younger, I used to think that Tim Westwood was a joke character. I thought that he was a caricature because I think he's so. Because especially when I found out that he was from Lowestoft or somewhere, and he, you know, he had the most whitest of whitest upbringing, and I'm not saying that obviously you're white, you are in the culture, but it makes sense, right? This is your life. For him, obviously he enjoyed the music. I'm not going to take that away from him at all. I'm not. But for me, it's like you assimilated a character that isn't you. You, from just I guess observing, and you assimilated this character, and now you've been allowed into this space, and it's not even a race thing. It's just a thing of, like, it's like me now. Even I'm black, right? I am, you know, I grew up in up north. I had a private education. For me to now be being like, hey baby, and talking like this, it's mad.
No, but
it's so mad.
But though, in his defense, right, and not in his defense if he's done that, by the way, but just in his defense on that subject, I feel like with the demographic of hip hop, especially in Europe, the main customer is the white kid from the countryside. But so you could become so into music that you, like, all you do is think about rap and DJ and mix and stuff, and then you move to London, you follow your dreams that we've been bigging up people to do earlier.
Absolutely.
And then he actually went to America and become part of the big dogs, pit bulls, which are Flex and all that. Why couldn't it have
been someone like you? Why couldn't it be someone who actually is from those areas? If you're a white kid in the country who enjoys the culture, I'm really sorry, you need to shut up and sit down and enjoy the people who are part of that culture.
But what if though, because DJing is a skill set, what if he was so good at it?
I don't think he's a good DJ.
I mean, his ear for it is good, because he knows what's hot before it's hot and stuff.
I'm sure if you could
I do DJ, too. Yeah, I've put bare people onto music. Yeah, 100%. If you learn
how to,
I was a DJ though. I was a DJ.
Why aren't you with the Team Westwood then?
I don't know why, but maybe he chased the dream more than anyone. Maybe he pursued it harder. I'm trying to say.
We can't take away opportunity, and what he probably did work very hard.
He probably worked. I think he did. Still,
I'm just saying he's not. I don't particularly.
One thing about Westwood though, and by the way, I do know him. Okay. And he has helped me in my music career and whatnot. But he's not my friend and he's not my people them, so it's not like I'm saying it from a biased angle. Even I think that, like, even what you're saying as well, there was actually black rappers from Ends that used to rap American and say baby and all that as well. Act like they were. Now that used to be cringy as fuck too, and they're from like fucking South London.
He still does it to this day, man.
Yeah, and but he's from that generation where there's no such thing as UK rap. It's only Americans to look up to, right?
I do hear that, but even still, the people that are.
He gets a lot of accusations against him, quite a lot. A lot of people say things and that often, like, oh, he likes young things or he likes red hair.
Do you not think that with that? You know, he gets a lot of accusations. I think, if you're a young woman in this country and you are about that, you're into that kind of stuff, you are like either first hand or 1 degree separation from someone who has been like inappropriately dealt with this guy. I know many people.
What, you know people that's
who have experienced his ways.
I know none. That's the thing. So for me, I was always kind of looking at it from a is it called subjective angle? Or is that the right word in subject? What's the right word in where you're just looking at it from an angle of like, I'm not involved and I don't know and I just hear both of you?
I guess that's subjective.
Yeah, is that the right word for it? Like, because there was one point where I'm sure during lockdown a story come about him where he kind of like dogged the girl in terms of like said to her, come link man. She come link him and that, but he's got to come to some yard where there's like a mattress on the floor or something, and then he's trying to say like, raw, like, boom, come, boom, boom, boom. She's like, nah, I'm not on that. And then he's like, oh, you should leave, get a cab then, innit, and cut basically. And she had to get her own cab and all that. And I remember reading the story and thinking, that's not sexual assault.
Well,
that's someone trying to get some pussy and being savage.
She went there,
and she weren't underage either.
Willingly. I don't even think that should even be a story. That's weird.
But that come up 2020, I believe.
The thing is, like,
so there's a lot of accusations do get thrown around about people as well. So it's kind of, that's why I've always stayed out of it.
You're going to get that. But I'm sorry, he's had so many accusations now to the point where it's like, what disappoints me is that I feel like a lot of the mandem are too shook to say anything or to speak up against him, because he is so influential. And also, I feel like people do kiss ass to him because he has so much influence and so much power, and he does put a lot of people on. And I think that's wonderful that he has done that.
He has done a lot of people, you're right.
He is someone who has some really serious accusations against him, and I feel like and he targets black women, and I hate that. And I don't want him to target any women, but I hate that it's black women because we are the least listened to. People don't believe us as much, and I feel like we're the most preyed on because people understand that, you know, as like black people, and also certain type of black people, because I think classism comes into things as well. So if you're from a certain background, people are less likely to believe you about stuff. You're more likely to be a victim, and then I layer on the thing of being like black as well. I just think it just disgusts me, and the fact that I haven't seen anyone like male podcasts. It's only one actually I saw.
I think they'll come though, because remember this is not breaking news, but it's been over the last week, hasn't it?
Like, it has, but this is something.
So even when this come out, they're gonna think it's been a minute, but it's actually recent. You know what I mean?
This has been going on for years, and no one's giving him a wide berth.
I don't know how to feel about it, because I don't know what's what right now, innit? I saw someone who is in our culture and they're black and whatnot, and they were saying like, because I haven't watched it yet, they were like saying how the BBC is a company that he left and he doesn't get on with, and they're the ones that pushed the agenda. And then they was also saying that this is mad, it even sounds mad to say that, but they were saying that a woman performed unwanted oral sex. That was the wording. Right, and that's mad. For the wording, as in like unwanted, like she didn't. I don't know.
She didn't want to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gathering. What that meant. But then she linked him on several occasions, so that don't make sense to me either.
But there's so
I mean?
much
After, I think, as well.
A lot of people look at this in a very black and white way. Let's say that is a scenario. In every sexual encounter, even if you slept with that person or done bits with that person 100 million times, if you were not up for it on the 100th and 1,000,000th time, then that is still assault, because you didn't.
But then would you have 102 and 103 million after though? That's what I mean.
Is that what happened afterwards?
That's what I saw someone say. I don't know if they're right though. They could just be saying it. They could have misunderstood it.
Even if that happened,
because let's get this clear. I think personally, as a man that has dated women and read her, and you know what as well, my type is black women. Yeah, so I understand why he would like black women as well. So that's also another angle, which can sometimes be tricky. Let's say tricky. But even that, if like me, I even want written confirmation these days, bro. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like you need to tell me in a message that you want me like that before I even ask you in person again, do you want me like that? Then I want you after to tell me how you enjoyed it so much, so I can keep that message.
It's scary,
because that's how bad the world is at the moment.
But it's needed.
You get it?
It is needed, because a lot of people will save themselves a lot of hassle. And don't get me wrong, women do lie. And I'm just putting that here because I feel like this always comes up, like, oh, women lie. Okay, we know this, but it's like
it's still not there. That's not good enough to just say that. In my opinion, as a man as well.
And I just feel like, this,
because I've got a sister, niece's mum. I respect women so highly. And obviously I'm a man, and there'll be maybe days where I'm not on my A game and I get rude to a girl if we have an uncomfortable conversation or whatever. But not in my wildest dreams would I ever even think about like making a woman do something they don't want to do. I think that's fucking crazy.
It's crazy. And did you watch the documentary?
No, that's what I mean. That's why I'm talking from this angle. I haven't seen it. I haven't even bothered to look into it. I didn't even plan on this convo today, Faith.
Sorry.
But you're talking your mind, it's cool, and I'm here, so I hear you.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at it. Like, I'm not mad at it. I don't have a personal relationship with Duke or nothing like that. I've been on his show before and that, and I've seen him recently actually when the Americans were over here, and I was just helping them with their press. But I don't know, because at the end of the day, I think also there's this thing that's like, oh, old white man, young black girl, but then there's this thing where it's like, young and legal is different as well, because when you're 60 something, of course they're going to be young to you.
Well, I heard,
do you know what I'm trying to say?
With obviously this is alleged, but I heard testimony of people saying that he groped them when they were underage. You know, all these, like, he used to do the obviously he did uni stuff, which most uni people are of age. But then he also did other stuff where there was like underage people there. And there are stories, first-hand accounts of people saying, like, he touched my breast. He would do, like, competitions. They'll come backstage, and he would use that as an opportunity to grope women and stuff.
Wow.
Obviously, this is all alleged because nothing has been proven in a court of law yet. This is it, isn't it? But I would like him to have his day in court. And I'm so sorry if that's people's fave. But our faves are not...
It's not even just that.
Are also... can be bad people.
Yeah, of course. Come on, we know this from previous people in the entertainment industry and that. But it's mad. I just feel like, I don't know, man. I genuinely hope that if people are coming forward, that it's genuine. Because if it's just to smoke man and ruin him, that's also nasty as well.
There's too many now.
Do you know what I mean?
And after watching the documentary, like I said, even before this documentary, right, talk to black women or like not necessarily even black, women that went to uni into like urban culture, right? Have a chat with some of your mates, your girl mates, yeah. Ask them about Tim Westwood. Every girl group has, you're a man's man. So. No, don't say that. You're making it sound like I'll back a man. No, I don't mean that. Like, I wouldn't. No, but I'm sure you have like girl mates. Have a chat with them and ask them what.
No, I do, and I speak to a lot of women a lot about these things, because even like me and a girl was talking about the whole Mike Tyson thing and the Tupac thing,
Right.
Do you remember them?
Yeah.
Like they've been jail for rape.
Yes, they have.
And then a lot of people will be like, oh, he didn't rape her, she lied because he's rich and he's famous.
Yeah.
And you know what? That might be true.
It does happen.
It might be true. But at the same time, it might not be.
We have to also trust in the judicial, can't even say that word, judicial system.
But even that system, I don't rate that system too tough.
It's the only system we've got.
I know, and that's the problem. That's where it gets messy, because I know people that have gone jail and they're innocent.
Yeah.
Personally. So it's tricky, man.
Yeah.
It's tricky. That's the word I'm using today. Tricky.
It is tricky.
Sticky and tricky.
Nothing's foolproof. Nothing is.
It's tough.
And like, you know, like obviously the Central Park boys, now men, they're a really good example of when like the legal system really F's up. So we all know this, right? And and especially if you're from a certain background, maybe your parents, maybe you're working class, maybe you're ethnic minority, we all know that these things also come into play. So it's not perfect at all. But when it comes to like abuse of women, like, you know, sexual abuse of women, it's already so not in women's favor at all. Yeah, nah, of course. I think it's definitely not, you're right. And I think it's also now, but then now there's like a Me Too thing, isn't it? Yeah. So it's kind of like everyone's coming out with all the past events and stuff and rare. And people are finding it difficult, especially men. I find it like, why are you only coming out now? They're not looking at the fact that only 1 out of 10 women that report sexual violence against them are even goes to considered a charge. Not even gets put in jail, to a charge. And the other 9 out of that 10 get thrown out. Nah, it's fuckery, because as I sit here as a man, I'll think like, if someone done that to my sister or my mum, I'll go mad. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So I understand. You get it. And I think a lot of it, through my life, a lot of respect that I have for women, it has been through my looking at a woman as a lady, like my mum is and like my sister is. So the women that's in my life that I love and care for and think the world of, I would look at them as there's another person that sees this woman like that as well. Yeah. And that's why for me, I've always looked at, that's been my personal measure on how to be respectful. Do you know what? Do you know what I'm trying to say? I have something to say about that. And I think that is wonderful. Like, it might be wrong still, that's the thing. I think it's just my wonderful. Way. However, it does kind of, and I understand. No, it sounds mad still. I know. Women, so obviously you have first-hand, like some of the people you respect the most in life are women. A lot of men didn't have women in their life. Yeah. Or maybe they had bad examples of women in their life. Yeah, that's true too. And that should not then be licensed. Not that I'm saying I'm not saying you're but right, I find it sometimes problematic when people say, you know, it's a bit like the thing, I'm not saying you said this, but like it's like a bit like people when they say, oh, my friend, I've got Jewish mates, I could never be this. Nah. Or like, it's like wild. We should all have a baseline. You probably are racist if you said that, in my opinion, maybe. Yeah. Because you should already know. Yeah. I think like they should, regardless of what women you have, you should just genuinely just respect humans. And it's not a dig at you. No, of course not. It kind of like, I'm just like, I think of things through so many different ways. Like, I try and look at things through bare angles, innit? Yeah. And I just think like sometimes some people are easier targets as well. Yeah. And he is an easy target. I mean, he is. Because he's an old white geezer that does rap music and dates black girls. That's quite easy. I mean, that is easy to look at and go, oh, I believe that as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I also think it's not that difficult not to have rapey allegations against you. It's not difficult. It's not. Like even when man was young, man had a little situation where a girl lied to man about something. Do you get me? But man was a young boy. On his level though. I'm talking on his level. No way. Are you mad? I'm not saying. You can't. I'll tell you the truth. You can't even mix them things with my name. Are you mad? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think. Yeah, I know. No I know someone who, as a young person, they experienced that and it was false. It was so serious. There's a lot of things like that. This is the type of thing that a lot of people commit suicide on. Yeah, 100%. So it's not a joke. You're right. But I mean, that's why I'm trying to think of it from different perspectives. Too. How many people do you know? Think of all the people in like, for example, think of all the people, like big people, right, who have had these allegations against them, maybe just one, and then compare that to people who have had like masses of them, like so many of them. Right? I get you though. There's a difference here.
Smoke without fire kind
there's
of
a difference. And I just think when you have someone who's had that level of allegations on them, I'm not saying that he's guilty, because we need to wait for the law to decide that. But all I'm saying is he needs to get arrested. This needs to be something that is looked into with seriousness, because you don't know who's next. That could be, these women wanted to commit suicide. They wanted to end their lives. And I think a lot of men don't grasp this. When you are a woman and you've been... Right, I'm jumping everywhere because I'm so passionate about this. Like, there's a recent study that came out that said 98% of women have, in this day and age, have experienced sexual assault of some degree, right? And before the age of 25. And then before the age of 30, it only drops down to 85-ish%. And that's huge. That's almost everybody. That's almost every woman at some point in her life, me included, has experienced something.
Sorry to hear that, man.
And it's like men can't grasp their head around what that does to you. What it really can, even if it doesn't manifest there and then, it can manifest in later life, especially if you don't have the support around you. And it's like, you know, I'm not going to go into it too much, but I'm just saying.
No, I get you.
Because men have that privilege. And I'm not saying men don't get
even Tupac,
attacked.
Look at Tupac, like the example of Tupac. Tupac went jail for that, I believe.
Yeah.
And then come out and still was a superstar rapper and famous, and everyone supported him.
Yeah.
So it's happened a lot, if we're going to be technical. Because that was proven in court, right? Yeah. Whether it's true or not is another thing.
Yeah.
I can't say if it's true or not.
I don't know what or not. I don't know.
Do you know what I'm trying to say, though?
It's too tough, to be honest. But yeah, I just think that maybe sometimes men don't really grasp that, the magnitude that can have on a woman. Yeah. And also, like, even if it doesn't affect her on a emotional, psychological way, it could affect the way she moves and how her brain is programmed moving forward. And a lot, anyway, it's deep. You could go on forever on it.
I was Googling the Tupac thing just to make sure I'm right, because I don't know if it was an allegation or if it was actually...
A lot of people get accused of doing things.
Yeah, he was charged with sexually assaulting a woman in a hotel room.
Okay.
But denied it still in 1993.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, that's what I'm saying. So it's a bit mad still. It's actually mad. To lighten up the subject though.
Yeah.
I've got this little game that we do called This or That.
Okay. Oh, I like games.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit lighter. We throw out like a couple of things, and you basically got to pick what one is a bit of you, basically.
Okay, go on.
Do you get me? So I'm gonna start off nice and easy, yeah. Wizkid or Davido?
That's easy. That's really hard. Oh.
Yeah, you're Nigerian. You might find it harder than me. You get me? You might have been following their thing a bit more.
That's a hard one, because I've thought about this in my private time. I think
you're kind of like it's a deep one.
No, it's hard. I think it's hard. I say Wizkid. Yeah,
I thought you would have said that. I think he's better at music.
No, because I think when you really think about it, think about Davido's music. He is lit.
Yeah, he is.
He's a legend.
But I think Wizkid's better though.
I think that I'm just thinking. Do you know how I came to that like conclusion? When I'm thinking like on my wedding day, like what's gonna get me the most turn? And as much as I love Davido's music, and for real, it's I think I get more turn to Wizkid.
Wiz is killing it, man.
He is.
I think he's better musically, in my opinion.
I think he has more range.
Yeah.
He has more range, like, musically.
I used to love that Dolce & Gabbana in a Corner song back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, man. That was the first time I kind of found out about him.
That's still a sick song.
That shit was hard.
That song is so good.
I just think that was a yardie tune at first, because I remember like way back when it
went. Really? Even with the Yoruba in there?
Yeah, but I didn't know that, because I'm not Nigerian, innit? Yeah. So I'm just like, it's like when you hear Shatta Wale, you think he's a yard man. Sounds like a Jamaican. But he's from Ghana.
Yeah, it's true.
He's talking pidgin and that, but it's not patois, innit? But it's similar.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're probably influenced by Buju Banton and by...
Yeah.
Because these man are legends in that thing, innit?
There's a lot of cross influences.
Because Afrobeats has a dancehall feel to it.
It does.
To an extent. It's, you know what I mean?
To some extent it does. It has its own thing as well, though. Yeah.
100%. But, like, naturally it's going to be like that, Carl. You think of anyone that's from the Caribbean, has African roots and heritage, and would probably... Like a Rastafarian is looking into that heavily. their culture and where they're from, so they're going to have that influence too.
Absolutely. And obviously, like when their ancestors were brought over on a boat, they brought their culture to some extent 100%. As well. So
yeah, facts.
And that kind of just,
like upon recreating your new culture, it's still your culture, and it's still a piece of you, like where you originate from.
Exactly.
Nicki Minaj or Lil' Kim?
Okay, these are hard questions.
Is it?
Asking, yeah.
You're a lady, man. First lady guest ever, by the way, innit? We said earlier off camera, so I got to hit you with the ladies ones instead of the male ones, man.
I'm going to say Nicki Minaj because that's my era.
Yeah. She's hard, man.
Yeah, she is.
Hard. Lil' Kim's hard, bro.
She is.
They're both hard, man. It's a hard one.
I think, do you know what it is, Vi? It may sound disrespectful to say Nicki Minaj because, to be honest, there wouldn't be a Nicki Minaj without a Lil' Kim.
Facts.
And I love Lil' Kim. I just think Nicki Minaj, and it's just maybe just opportunity. She was just able to do more.
No, it's fine. You can pick them because you could also say there wouldn't be a Lil' Kim without like a Lady Light or a Lady Rage.
Yeah, there's always someone beforehand.
So, Lady Rage is hard. Queen Latifah's hard.
I feel like
but
this
Nicki
is
Minaj is better than them.
I feel like, what's her face?
I'm trying to say.
Is it IVD when they asked her who's your top 3 rappers? And she said City Girls.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's that moment. And Zizi was like, what?
Zizi was wilding,
She just did the same thing.
Zizi was tight, and then the girls tweeted about her, innit? That's easy. Let them have their favourites, man.
That was a wild thing to say. To be fair, I am as baffled as CZ.
But you say that. But listen, man them at one point love Gucci Mane.
Yeah.
He's like, this thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Like when he come out and hit the streets with the mixtapes back in the day and that DVDs and shit. Gucci hard, and he was talking mad shit. Like he wasn't really. He was kind of like down south, slow. Like it was just talking about mad stuff.
I don't really get the allure of Gucci Mane.
You don't get it? Nah,
no.
He's hard. He's not cold, but he's trapper, innit? He just shot her.
It's not my
thing.
He's
a bad man as well, caught a body and that. That's what he is. He's a bad man. So people like that.
He went to jail for it, didn't he?
He actually beat it in self-defense.
Did he not go to jail for that? What did he go for jail for? To jail?
Because he's a nutter anyway. Just probably caught a next case. He's a nutter. That's what he is. He's a road G. Like. But he's thinking, 100%. That's why they called him a clone, innit? Because they were like, who's this?
Who's this guy? He looks even different.
Yeah, he lost bare weight, got a 6-pack of that.
The teeth.
Big him up, man. You get me? Big him up for that. That's big. But people like controversy. They like characters like that. Like 50 Cent was a shooting star,
he
man.
Came on
strong, gangster, got shot 9 times, beat death.
Yeah.
Bad man, shot crack, has a gang.
He spoke about it in every song, but
serious guy, man. Yeah. Serious guy, you get it. So I get it though. I do get it. So the new youths, their thing might be city girls. The young ladies, they might get, because I think someone who was on stage was like, or in the crowd, they were like, when I'm getting ready to go out, and that gasses me up to have a good night. And
the best top, like really.
Nah, but it's a personal question, isn't it?
It is.
It's something that I'm learning on this show all the time as well. I'll be like, what's your top 5 to a guest? And they just come out with a random guy in their top 5, and I'm like, oh man. Like how, like even one of my other guests, they put Future as like in the top 3 of all time as a rapper, and I was just like,
is like the most.
No, he's hard. No, but musically, he's hard.
To be fair, like
so I get
in the gym when I was really into like lifting weights, like Future was on. Like
it was cold.
His song March Madness was like my lifting song.
Hard song.
That got me amped.
He's got bare songs that are hard though. His catalogue is brazy right now. After this new one as well that just dropped on Friday, his thing is separate. So
I haven't listened to any.
Yeah, it's called I Never Liked You. About a female. He's toxic, man. He's the most toxic guy out there, but for this music thing.
The more I looked into his life and what he stands for, the less I listen to his music. I don't really listen to a lot of. I feel like I'm triggering you today, man. I really love like rap music, and I still really do. But I have this. I think maybe just I'm getting older. I just can't. I can't stand a lot of the things.
The subject matter.
Yeah, it's like especially when you're an old ass man. Do you know what? I struggle with it sometimes. When I see the young people having fun and stuff. I don't necessarily agree what they're talking about.
But you was there once.
I'm like,
I was there once. Yeah.
When you're a big ass man, how is he 38? And you're
he's a big man.
Like you are.
No, it's true. Even I've had that feeling where it's like should I really be rapping about this at my age, kind of thing.
Do you know? I get it when it's. Do you know some people are storytellers?
Yeah.
And they tell their story.
100%.
But there's balance, right?
Like a lot of people dwell on the past too much as well, which is a bit weird. Like, because at some point you have to grow up, isn't it? And like be Jay-Z and make 444 about credit scores and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
This is the thing. Like, I think
American music or UK music. Why we're on that?
When I think about probably American.
Yeah.
I think.
Nigerian, of course, man.
Yeah, it's American.
I used to know Nigerians talk American and that, man, back in my ends, man.
Yeah.
When we were younger.
Because
they grew up watching American TV, isn't it, as well?
Oh, geez, they always talk that weird American accent that is like Nigerian. What's up, man?
I got one that lives near me, man. He's a big man, you know, and he thinks he's definitely from Harlem. 100%.
It's so weird. Like I used to have cousins when we went to Nigeria. Like we used to go to Nigeria all the time, and they would just randomly just start trying to talk in American accent to us, and I'm just so confused. Like I'm from England. like not Massachusetts, wherever is this accent that you're trying to adopt to me now.
I think it's hilarious though. I've noticed that from Nigerians from young.
Have you ever watched Nollywood? Especially
of course, man. I've got Nigerian brethren. Some of my best friends are Nigerian, man. The same one as a doctor, I remember. I used to live in his yard nearly. Like,
have you ever seen it where
man used to drink? That's what I'm saying. They put like his sister, when I used to be at their yard staying for time, and that his sister used to put me onto Milo, hot chocolates and that. Like she'll put coronation milk in my tea and that.
Oh yeah,
I grew up like that. Like man,
I hate Milo. I'm like the only person, but
but that was like me as a youth.
Yeah, that's
you get me?
Nice.
Because my neighbours when I was young were Ghanaian, and she was my babysitter and that. So I always I think that was like really like she had 3 daughters as well. So that was kind of really where like that bond with that culture comes from for me. But
it makes sense.
Yeah, but like you see like Nigerians, it's normally male brethren that I've had from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Rather than female experiences.
Yeah.
And they've been my brethren and that. So it's always been
I said you're a man's man, so you gravitate towards the mandem like that. So, but yeah, I think when I think about more the music I listen to is probably American music.
That makes sense.
Because I love R&B as well.
R&B's cold. Who's your top off the top? Who's your top 3 R&B singers of all time?
See, I'm more like into like the neo soul-y type stuff.
Okay.
So like Jill Scott.
Jill Scott's cold. She ain't new though.
I know.
Around,
you mean new?
Ever? No, all time.
Oh, all time. Yeah.
Jill Scott's cold, man.
Jill Scott. Like I love the groups like Eternal, Growing Up, like Brandy.
Eternal, you know. Jeez. Brandy was cold.
Brandy is like one of my top.
Angel in Disguise, man.
Her voice is still so lovely to me.
Brandy's amazing, man. I used to fancy her when I was young, man.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, I used to love Brandy.
Yeah.
Moesha.
Yeah. Oh God. I started watching it.
I used to like her eyes, man.
Netflix. She's very beautiful.
Yeah, I used to just think, wow,
she's frozen in time as well.
I used to just and any girl that looked like her, I used to move to them when I was young.
Really?
Yeah, like but mum.
Have you seen her today?
Nah.
She looks the same.
Same. Probably I can imagine.
She's like Kelly Rowland.
Yeah, Kelly Rowland's beautiful too.
She gets better with age as well.
They're doing their thing, man.
Yeah.
Some people do. Gabrielle Union, though, I don't know. I don't fancy her no more, man. I feel like I like the old her. Yeah. But it's life, isn't it? We go through things, man.
She still looks very young for her age,
which is a blessing.
It is. I wish and hope to age like that.
Just drink water, man. You'll be alright.
Exactly.
Are you a shoe girl or a bag girl?
Bag.
So you bag over shoes? Yeah. This is where it gets saucy, but it's where we find out what you're really on.
I can't choose that one. I'm really sorry. I can't.
That's the tiebreaker.
I can't choose that.
Because they're both very important, innit?
They're both very important. But I think probably bag, because I feel like bags are better investments.
Okay. This is the business head, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I was gonna go with shoes personally because I feel like shoes is can make or break an outfit. Like you could have a dress like as a man that knows females, you could have a dress that costs £20, but your shoes are just crisp.
But
and they just make it pop.
I think handbags are what make an outfit look.
They
more
both kind of do. But then you can't have broke down shoes with a mad handbag.
You don't have to have broke down shoes. But like, imagine if you're wearing like a ball gown or like a long trouser or something. They cover your shoes anyway, and your handbag. So now your handbag's more important. I feel like a handbag's more of the statement.
All right.
Because you can just have like some plain shoes. Yeah. And if you've got like
you might even if you're around the pool and that, you might have some sandals on with your bag. And exactly. I hear that. I get where you're coming from. It's a tie though.
And also handbags tend to retain their value.
Their value in it. Yeah, there's some expensive ones, boy. Them Birkins and that.
Yeah.
Dark liquor or light liquor?
Dark.
What's your favourite?
Tequila.
That's light.
Dark
tequila. What one's that?
Like, you know, like you get brown tequila.
You do, innit? Well, you like that, yeah?
I love tequila.
Yeah,
and then
some
rum.
Different shit. Well, light rum or white rum, no? Dark rum. You like dark rum better than Ray Nephew and that, yeah?
See, Ray Nephew's like my go-to.
Try
for
Kraken.
A good time. Kraken, I like
banging,
Kraken. That's
banging.
like a spice
with pineapple juice at
Some
Bang
people don't like that, which is weird.
They probably ain't tried it. They're probably just saying it. That's the other thing. People are like that, you know. They're followers, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, but dark. I love, dark.
Nobu or Novikov?
Nobu, 100%.
Quick like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Easy. Okay. All right. So what about Nobu or Hakkasan? Straight Nobu thing.
I think I prefer the food at Hakkasan.
Hakkasan, yeah.
To Nobu.
And for the people watching, this ain't the normal. This question ain't like someone just saying it because they went there once. We're talking to like a food connoisseur.
The foodie.
If you want to find out, this is a quick disclaimer because we didn't get a chance. Because we went kind of left.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't get a chance to really get into this bit. But if you're looking for a good place to eat in London, go on her Instagram and you're gonna find one. I swear, even I do it. She don't know that I does this.
Oh, dear.
But I've got like saved tabs and that. And if I'm looking to go on a date or I'm trying to go somewhere and that, I'll go through them first. Try to find the spot.
There's
you
even
get
more
me.
on my TikTok. I didn't
know that.
I post way more.
Yeah, you got some spots, man. I think I found out about Stork through your thing.
Oh right.
I haven't been yet. I ended up going somewhere else, but
yeah, Stork. is nice.
I found out about. Is it nice?
Good. Yeah, I like it. It's nice.
Ghanaian jollof or Nigeria?
Is this even a question? What kind of question is this?
Honestly though, you could look. Obviously, you grew up in a certain way and that, but you might even say, do you know what? I do like Nigerian better. I mean Ghanaian better.
I love Ghanaians, and I just don't understand why they feel the need to defend their jollof so hard. And I'm not, even if I say, okay, I know it's hard for me to be objective because I am Nigerian, but I've literally never tasted a Ghanaian jollof I like. And this is invitation. No, this is invitation for someone. I'm gonna bring it to my
auntie Mavis, man.
Bring it.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it on. We'll do the show again with her.
I don't want to trigger no aunties here, but you know, like I have not tasted a Ghanaian jollof. First time I had Ghanaian jollof, I thought
this is wild, by the way.
These people just don't know how to make jollof. Not I mean specifically. So I thought, do you know what? It's not going to be a Ghanaian thing. It's them that cooked it. Then I tried it again, and I said, "What the hell?" I tried it again. I said, "What?" And then the fourth time I tried Ghanaian jollof. Okay, I'm not going to say when I tried it because that would be really rude.
Were you going to say where? Don't say where. Never. Don't do that. Never do that, please.
Yeah, I think
Guy, mad.
Ghanaians need to stick to the stuff that I love, like washe. Wow. I love like light soup, peanut soup, all that stuff.
Kenke?
I haven't had that.
You never had kenke?
Is it nice?
It's heavy though.
Yeah, everything
it's nice
is.
Though. Yeah, it's heavy. It's really heavy though.
I love everything else.
You go and sleep after more time. Go gym after as well.
Or gym, gym or sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that like jolloff's not really for them.
Hey, listen, big up my Ghanaians, man. I like yours better.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like Ghanaians better.
Wait, you like Ghanaians better? What? Oh, just because of your auntie, whatever.
Nah, but it's not even biased thing. Because you know what? Nah, but you know what? One thing I will say, I definitely did get semi brainwashed as well. Right. Like, you know what Ghanaians are like? Adam, don't eat their one and that. Boom, it's not the same. It's long grain. It's this. It's that. It's not.
Oh, they love it, man.
And they do, and they did impact me a little bit. But I used to go to Prezi on Old Kent Road a lot. Presidential Suya.
Oh, that place is.
I fuck with that place.
That place is not it.
No, I fuck with them. I fuck with them. I like it there.
Do you?
Yeah, I always pull up there, man.
One time we ordered from there. Yeah, went to pick it up, and the woman was like, the woman that makes the suya, she went to church. And I was like, pardon? We ordered it on Uber Eats as well. And she's like, let me try and call her and see where she is. How can I put an order in and the woman has gone to church? She like, what is going on?
That's the best excuse that they could have ever given you, you know.
You pay more
because your name's Faith on the app probably as well.
I was lost for words. Yeah.
Let's see your bangs though. In my opinion,
there's no suya in London that bangs.
No, but I've never. I don't know that.
I'm from in Nigeria.
I like their thing.
I
like their chicken wings and I like their rice as well. Their jollof rice, man.
Do you know what? Their jollof rice is okay.
I was just about to say that's the one Niger spot that made me actually doubt that the auntie all the Ghanaians that told me that shit might have been biased.
How many times have you had Nigerian jollof?
Quite a lot still. Yeah. Quite a lot, but I do prefer basmati rice though.
Yeah, I prefer.
That's why I think by default as well, unbiasedly, I lean that way.
It's just I don't know what they do. It's just not flavoursome to me, and it's hard. It's just not. I just don't. No.
And I have had a bad experience with Nigerian jollof rice once. Anyway.
Oh dear.
Not the rice, the food actually, the whole dish that time.
What was it?
It just smashed me up the next day, man.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of like I had to blame the individual though, rather than
the
culture of food. You know what I'm trying to say?
Food shouldn't mash you up like that.
Yeah, it was mad still. So it always made me think, oh man, maybe the auntie was right. You get me? Like, you know, like
no,
that.
Your
like,
auntie's not right. Sorry. I want to taste her jollof though.
Nah, yeah, I'm gonna bring that, man. I'm gonna get her to cook her mazza.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get her to cook her mazza. And she's gar instead of tree as well. So I think
does that make a difference?
It's different part. No, because they say that gar people. I don't know if it's true, but they say that gar people are originally Nigerian.
I see.
Apparently,
so
due to the border.
What you're trying to say is
maybe
ultimately Nigerian jollof. Okay, next question.
I'm trying to meet in the middle with it. Like, you get me? Big up both though. Same way, I eat both, innit? I like rice and peas more again now though.
Oh please!
I went off that because listen, the other day on Good Friday, I got ackee and saltfish, rice and peas and plantain, and I swear to God, straight plantain. I can't do plantain, man. It's plantain.
Plantain.
I hear you, but still, I'm stubborn.
Okay.
And listen, the rice banged so much that I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa, like this is in Hackney.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, yo, this rice and peas was seasoned and cooked so well that it was delicious.
To be honest, I love rice and peas. I like it. Is it mung bean?
Yeah.
Yeah, or gung bean.
Or yeah, a lot of Grenadians use that.
I like that type.
Gung bean.
I think a good, it's never going to be on levels with jollof rice, but I do appreciate...
You're savage.
It's only because jollof rice you can eat on its own and it's good. You kind of need something with rice and peas.
Exactly. That's why, and that is exactly why I literally said what I said, because I went through a space where jollof rice was killing that because it's different. You can eat jollof rice on its own with a piece of chicken on the side.
Yeah.
But with rice and peas, it's like you need the gravy from the barbecue chicken or something.
You do. I do love Jamaican food.
That's my favourite.
It's one of my favourites as well.
For me, what's your top 3 nations of food?
Japan. If people gonna
high-end Japanese food and that.
I love Japanese food.
Nobu, and that's Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah. I love Italian food so much.
Come on.
And then Nigerian food. They're my favourites. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think then actually no, it's hard.
Like Thai.
This is the hardest thing you can ever ask a foodie, because I love like East African food. I love
what country though?
Like Ethiopian, Eritrean.
Mm-hmm.
Food. I love their cuisine.
Because I used to I was in a long-term relationship with a Ugandan girl. She was Ugandan and Tanzanian, and I was in a long-term. I used to live in her house basically and everything when we was young. We was together for years, and I used to eat like a lot of East African food in theirs. But I feel like it was very Indian based
they have
Ugandans.
They make more
curry
use
with
of
potato and that
spices. Yeah. So it is that influence. I love it, and I love Middle Eastern food as well. I love Moroccan food.
Is it?
North African food.
What tangines and that?
I love.
Is it? You're very like with food and that. You're a foodie for real.
I am.
I'm a foodie, but you're a foodie. Like I know this. Like I watch your stories and that, and I'll watch your story to think, where's she eating tonight? Cause I might need to go there next week. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, but you're really like.
I haven't been to a restaurant this week.
You're actually really experimental and adventurous with it.
It's a
in
hobby.
My opinion. Yeah, I can see it.
It's definitely a hobby.
Because I'm not very experimental and adventurous. I'm kind of like one of those guys that I like what I like, and I know where I like it, and I'll go there more.
Yeah.
But I do see things on your story, and I think, yo, it's alright. That looks alright.
That's my aim.
You get me?
Is to open people's eyes, and also like I feel like people just think you have to go to Mayfair to eat good,
and that's not true, right?
And part of my thing is I want to show that there's so much good food, still really nice settings, but in other parts of London, and you don't have to spend loads of money.
You're right, man. So foodies, you know where to go, man. What's your at on? I know they would have seen it on the title, but what's your at? Because they might need to log them, you know.
It's just Faith Fontaine, all one word, and then on TikTok it's Faith Fontaine 1.
Don't forget the one,
because apparently there's another Faith Fontaine on there.
It's an imposter.
So, yeah.
I was gonna ask you one more question,
yeah,
about the but I already know the answer.
Okay.
I was gonna say, date night, Netflix and cook, or restaurant.
What as in like with my significant other?
Yeah.
I think date night, stay in and cook thing.
Well, better than going out to a restaurant. You?
Yeah.
I don't believe you, man.
No, people,
sounds cute and that, but I don't believe you. Man.
No, I love a night in. I really do.
But you like a night out as well.
I do like going to restaurants.
You do.
I do like going to restaurants, definitely. But like, I also love cooking a lot. And I think I love it. I just like to not wear makeup and go out. I just
chilling.
Yeah, just chilling. Yeah,
especially on a Friday after a long week, man.
Honestly,
that's the vibe, man.
People, when I say that, people think, oh yeah, really, but it's true.
See, the older you get as well, man. Trust me, Friday just becomes time to cool off. Now, it used to be the party day. You get me? So
I love when people cancel that on you as well. It's like, oh really? Oh, that's a shame. I was really looking forward to that.
The lies. Hey, listen, I'm getting like, trust me, I'm not like that, you know. Like, I'm one of them guys that like, I'll tell you early I'm not coming as well. Like, nah, I'm not gonna come, man. I got a lot on, or I'll let you know for sure.
Oh, I'm like,
but
that
you get
too.
bare people that just
last minute.
What? And they don't care, man.
But that does,
trust me. They go back to bed smiling, pulling the coat up, like, yo.
Listen, it's annoying when you
make reservations and that.
Either on your way out, or you've invited them as a +1 knowing that you already have that +1. You could invite anyone.
Yeah.
And then they just bail on you. And you've got to go to that thing on your own or whatever.
Big facts.
That's annoying. I hate flaky people. But sometimes it's like, I didn't want to go out anyway.
And it? Nah, but listen, honestly, time's flown. We got to do it again. We're going to get you on, hopefully, if you're happy to come back for another show, like a different type of one, where it's more like focus on couple topics with some other guests. That'd be cool. But it's been a pleasure. The first lady to come on the show.
I feel so honoured.
You've been the first lady special guest, and it's been a pleasure. It's been good to hear about your background, what you're into and whatnot. And anyone that wants to sort of find out more, go check out like an abundance of her work on YouTube. And
abundance, you know.
Yeah, wow. There's a lot of work out there, man. You've been on Free Shots.
Yeah.
You've been on Talk That Talk. You got your own podcast. You've been on quite a lot actually as well, man. You've been on Smokes, You've been on there. That's my guys. They're good people.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, man.
Oh, nice. I like
man.
Oh, Smokes is such a sweetheart.
Yeah, Roms and Smokes, they're cool, man. It's my guy, man.
Too as well.
Wes.
Yeah, I met that's the first time I ever spoke to Wes. He's a good guy.
It's the first time I met him as well, actually, when I went on there, because I know, Smokes and Roms, I know them still. I've been on,
they're good people.
But keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you.
And again, doors open whenever you want to come back, man.
Oh, thanks. I'll be happy to come back.
Well, cheers to that, man. Let's get the cups.
Cheers.
Bless.
Check it.